question is, was it a catch? Javon Bullard gathered it in. And it's Green Bay football. And there is your dagger.
With Doug Russell.
It does mean something.
Nick Bruzowitz.
Beat him up in private.
And Dave Gasper.
Let's stay up all night long.
From Monroe Street to Lombardi Avenue.
There is your dagger.
This is your daily deep dive into the teams we love and the games we watch.
Touchdown, Wisconsin!
And there it is. The Brewers will punch a ticket to the postseason.
Now here's Doug Russell.
Well, happy Monday morning. Happy Victory Chicken Monday morning. The only thing that sucks about Sunday Night Football is that you have to wake up the next morning and generally go to work. Not that going to work is necessarily a bad thing unless you hate your job. I don't hate my job. I love my job. I'd like to keep doing it for a while.
We would.
Yeah, we really would. The Packers, they get to do their job for a while as well. Jordan Love was fantastic last night, and there was added juice to this game. Anyone who tried to downplay it, I think, is kidding themselves, as the Packers came away with really a tale of two halves, and Matt LaFleur will speak to that coming up when we hear from him, because I doubt anybody heard any of his post-game comments from last night. So as a, just kind of a public service, what we do for you guys, we will play back his post-game news conference as well as Jordan Love's coming up. The Packers beating the Steelers last night, 35-25. The Packers in the first half were down 16-7 at the break, and then scored 28 of their 35 points in the second half, 21 of their 35 points in the fourth quarter. Jordan Love, outstanding last night, 29 of 37, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, a quarterback rating of 134.2. Tucker Kraft was the man of the night, breaking tackles left and right all over the field on National Tight Ends Day. 7 catches, targeted 9 times, but 7 catches for 143 yards, 2 touchdowns. Savion Williams got in the end zone. Christian Watson caught all 4 of his targets for 85 yards. He looked great. Really, really opened up the Packers' offense. Romeo Doubs caught 3 balls. Malik Heath caught 3 balls. Out of the backfield, the combination of Wilson and Jacobs caught 6 balls. Matthew Golden, 3 balls, only for 4 yards. So the ball was spread out a lot. Matthew Golden, I think, not his best game as a Packer. Christian Watson, not his best game as a Packer, but my goodness gracious, it was good to see him out there. But Tucker Kraft, that was the best game that he's ever played in his life, probably. And certainly on the biggest stage. And Aaron Rodgers was pretty good, too, 24 of 36. 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, a quarterback rating of 101.5. But in this case, it was the student outdueling the master.
Yeah.
And the Packers are now 5-1-1 on the season.
Yeah, and they are sitting pretty, and Tucker Kraft, a big part of it, had a fantastic game. And yeah, I mean, this was just an absolute masterpiece from Jordan Love, because all week we have been talking about Aaron Rodgers. It is Aaron Rodgers against the protege, Jordan Love, facing off against each other, talking about mentoring each other, all of these things. And Jordan Love hears it, and to be able to go out and have a game like he had, 20 straight completions for Jordan Love,
tying Brett Favre's record.
Yeah,
not Aaron. Something Aaron Rodgers never did, but Brett Favre did it.
The sweet irony of that.
The sweet irony of doing that in 2007, which happened to be the year before Aaron Rodgers took over as starting quarterback. Nick, how we doing? This resident Steelers fan and Aaron Rodgers slappy.
Yeah.
How's everything going? How are you today? Do we need
I'm all right.
Do you need like a radio hug or anything?
I'm doing all right. I mean, obviously, I'd prefer that they win, and it sucks to lose. But I mean, the reality is the Packers are the better team. They were road favorites against their former quarterback, against the team that entered last night 4-2. So that just tells you everything that the league thinks of, or at least certainly Vegas thinks of the team that came to town, and that's the Green Bay Packers. I felt inspired by what I saw from Jordan Love. I think that a lot of what he was able to do was well schemed and certainly well executed on his end. There were certainly plays at which he made that you felt like, okay,
That's the type of play you'd see from Aaron. That's the type of play you'd see from Brett. That's the type of play you see from star players. The deep ball to Christian Watson across his body, well elevated through the air. That's a really special play that not many guys can make. So, yeah, it sucks. I don't feel great about it, but I just think last night, it puts things into perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is a really elite Packers team. And when they play as well as they can, it looks a lot like the second half.
Yeah.
And last night's second half was remarkable.
Yeah, they played 60 minutes, which was nice to see. They haven't always played 60 minutes. And the other thing that I came away from with this game is that I think they left some points out there.
Yeah.
Brandon McManus back, missed a couple of field goals. I mean, the 57-yarder is a long one. But still, I mean,
when your replacement kick 61.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah. You're not wrong. So the Packers have, it's like a champagne problem at kicker. They've got too many kickers, and there are some other teams in the NFL, Giants, that probably want a kicker that don't have someone who's reliable. In the Packers right now, not only, they're substitute teachers, they're substitute kicker. And I think McManus certainly in second half kind of got it together. Maybe there's some a little bit of rust
a couple
there.
of chip shot ones to see them go through, right?
Yeah, that helped.
27 and 25, I think, yard field goals for him, or something really small. I think that there is a question about if he's the best kicker on the team now, which I don't know if we would have speculated coming into the season.
Yeah, I thought we had this solved, right?
Yeah,
right.
And Lucas, where's he been? I mean, if he's this good, I suppose you can look at the story of Brandon Aubrey, and this was a kid who was kicking in the UFL or the USFL or the XFL or one of those FLs in one of the spring leagues before the merger, I think it was. And then the Cowboys were in need of a kicker, and I think it was because all of the games were down there in Dallas. That's where one of the hubs was. I know that Birmingham was one of them, but the training hub was in Dallas at Renegade Stadium or whatever they're calling it now. And they're like, okay, maybe this is the guy. We'll bring him in for a tryout, walk him across the parking lot. And he's stuck ever since. He's been one of the elite kickers in the NFL ever since.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe that's what Havlicek needs. You just got to get that opportunity, because kicking is such a fickle, not pun not intended, but it's such a fickle thing in the NFL where, I mean, if you have just one or two bad games, no matter how good you've been for a long time, you have a couple of bad games, that's it, you're done. They'll find someone else. And someone else, just completely random Joe Schmo off the street, he has a streak of a couple of really good games, and all of a sudden you can find yourself with a long time job there in the NFL.
Does the name Brett Conway mean anything to you guys?
No.
No.
Okay. So Brett Conway was a kicker out of Penn State. And when the Packers were turning the page on Chris Jackie, they drafted Brett Conway in the third round.
Oh, boy.
Of the 1997 draft. Coming off of a Super Bowl championship. They drafted a kicker. Ron Wolf drafted a kicker in the third round.
How'd that go?
Never hurt. Got hurt, never played for the Packers. Now, he had a long career bouncing around the NFL. He bounced around from the Jets to the Redskins to the Raiders, back to the Jets, back to the Redskins, to the Colts, to the Giants, to the Browns, to the Vikings, and then his career ended in 2004. But because he got hurt in training camp, the Packers needed another kicker. So they brought in this guy that no one had ever heard of, undrafted free agent, and they just gave him a flyer and said, oh, okay, Brett got hurt. Can you go out there and kick a few balls for us? Kicker out of Cal, nobody had heard of. His name was Ryan Longwell. And by the time Ryan Longwell was done, he was the Packers' all-time leading scorer. He has since been supplanted by Mason Crosby, but he's still in the top two.
Yeah.
So here's the lesson. Number one, never draft a kicker or a punter.
Yes.
Ever, under any circumstances ever. Just don't do it. And if you do it in the third round, that is a fireable offense.
Yeah.
Even though it was Ron Wolf. And
remember when Sebastian Janikowski went in the first round?
He was the only one that worked out because Russell Erxleben was drafted in the first round.
Erxleben?
By the New Orleans Saints in 1980, I think.
Yeah.
First round pick, and just never panned out. But he was a kicker / punter. So I thought, we're getting two positions in one. Didn't work out.
Yeah.
No. The Buccaneers drafted a kicker in like the second round a couple of years ago.
Roberto Aguayo.
Yeah. And he did not work out.
Yeah,
it never works
it's
out.
risky. Jake Moody was drafted by the Niners.
Fourth
Not
round.
good. I mean,
Yeah.
these are guys being picked in early enough rounds. Definitely not day 2, day 3 at worst.
Yeah, no, Mason Crosby was a 6th rounder, if I recall
right.
correctly. That one worked out okay.
Yeah.
But
yeah, kickers are interesting. They are very interesting. But that second name, it's already been lost upon me. Erxkleben.
Yeah, Russell
said
Erxkleben. He was drafted number 11 overall by the New Orleans Saints.
There is a theory that I might endorse that you have to have a football name. You have to have a good name to be good. And that's just one that doesn't work, right? Jordan Love, that name rolls off the tongue. Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, these are strong, rock solid names. Yeah. Dan Marino, John Elway, Joe Montana, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. These are strong names.
Yeah.
Erxkleben
would be a good left guard, I think.
Not going to work.
But that's a name for a left guard.
Yeah. So let's see. I'm just doing. He became more of a punter than a kicker. He only made 4 field goals. He only attempted 8 of them. His longest field goal was 38 yards. He punted for an average of 40.6 yards. His longest punt in his career was 60 yards. He played in the NFL. He was a replacement player in 1987, so let's not even count that. But he played for the Saints from 1979 to 1983. So they hung on to this kid for a while.
Yeah.
But he was the number 11 overall pick. So, again, this is a long way of saying kickers are a dime a dozen. Never draft one. If you draft one in the first round, even if it's Sebastian Janikowski, who is a great kicker, fantastic kicker, don't do it in the first round. It's stupid. It's the most moronic thing you can possibly do because there's another guy who's out there because all of these kickers, the margin of error is infinitesimal between the best guy and the worst guy, and it's all between the ears.
Yep. 100%.
And
and they can lose it at any time.
Yep.
Right.
I mean, it was
craziest thing for me.
Crosby missed like 4 kicks in a game once. I'm sorry, Nick. Go on.
No, you're fine. You're fine. We're all just spitballing back and forth about kickers. And you saw the value of Chris Boswell last night for the Steelers. Like if he does not make 50+ yarder, 48 yarder, 50+ yarder in the first half, you're talking about a whole different game. And then McManus misses the kick. And at that point, you're wondering if it could be the difference in the game. And the Packers made that definitely not an issue in the second half. But you look at Chris Boswell, undrafted. He had a 73.9% conversion rate on field goal attempts in college with Rice. That wouldn't tell you that this guy's
powerhouse.
Right. This would not tell you that this guy could be maybe the best kicker of all time. And it's just ridiculous, right? I mean, in the NFL, he's now at 88+% career field goal percentage. It's nuts.
It is. I don't know if he's the best kicker of all time. I think that's hard to quantify, but he's really good. He's really good.
Career percentages and how much you've made. Statistically, he's right there with the best ever. I think 89 might be the best, and it's Justin Tucker.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Justin Tucker.
That ended poorly.
He's available on the open market.
Is he, though? Is he still suspended? Has that expired yet?
Oh, he's a free agent.
Well,
is he a Hall of Famer?
Justin Tucker?
Yeah.
No. Well, I mean, he might have been at one point, but that ain't going to happen. And that ship has sailed.
As it stands now, Dicker the kicker with the
Chargers. He's really good.
Yeah, nearly 94%, but he's played 4 years. Justin Tucker with that track record of 14 or 13 years at 89.
Both Texas Longhorns, actually.
Yeah, I mean they're kicker. You
know who else was who else was a Texas Longhorn? Russell Erxkleben.
Oh wow, there we go. See, that's where you get the kickers.
That's what they hang their hat on.
Down
in Texas,
down there in Austin.
That's exactly what Longhorns fans are paying big NIL money for. Is the next great kicker.
So anyway, that's our diatribe on kickers. But the Packers come away with a huge win last night, 35-25. So just kind of a audio spin after the game was over Jordan Love, Packers quarterback, who had maybe his most memorable game so far. It's arguable because, the stakes, even though it was a regular season game, if you're looking for his best performance ever, you can go back and look at the wild card game against the Cowboys. Certainly that was a huge game. But if we were doing Packers Prime next summer, spoiler alert, we're not. But if we were doing Packers Prime next summer. This would be one of the games that I would put up there. This is one of the games this would be an instant classic. This had all the makings of being a game that will be remembered for a long, long time. After the ball game was over, Packers quarterback Jordan Love, 3 touchdowns, quarterback rating of 134.2, met the assembled media.
Is there any way in a nutshell to account for the difference in the first half and the second half?
Yeah, I mean, I think, when we came in the locker room at halftime, the message was that we just weren't finishing. We weren't executing our plays, and we weren't locked in on doing everybody's 111th. So, there's plays to be made, and I think we just weren't executing those, and we weren't able to stay on the field. I think the first half went by really fast for us as an offense. We had 1 scoring drive. And so I think the message was just do your job, lock in, and execute plays and stay on the field, and we did that.
9-yarder with Tucker, you were backed up and you were under pressure. Did you even see him, or what did you see there?
Yeah, no, I saw him. We had kind of a man beater on there, right? And I saw Tuck going to the corner, and, as I was kind of throwing it, got hit. Obviously, I had no idea where the ball even went. I was hoping nothing bad happened, and Tuck just saw the replay. Tuck made a great play. Obviously, to come back for the ball and then to get that yak, that's a big-time play.
What's it like having a tight end like him? I think the stat was 131 of his yards came after the catch tonight. But what's it like having a guy like that?
It's big time. He's a big-time player, and I think, everybody's seen, what he's capable of when he gets the ball in his hands, just making guys miss, running people over, getting those extra yards. So that, anytime he touches the ball, he's going to try and fight for all those yards, and he's just an explosive playmaker. So, I'm just glad that, everybody's kind of seeing what he's all about now.
Did you feel like you were kind of in the zone in the second half as far as just reading things and putting the ball on the money?
Man, I was just playing. I think you get in that as a player where you just, start flowing and playing well, and everybody around me just making plays as well and executing at a high level. So, obviously I think we knew what we needed to change at halftime. And I'm just glad we were able to go out there and do that and start making some big-time plays.
Jordan, what did you say to Aaron? What did he say to you in the little exchange afterwards?
Yeah, man, it was quick. Just said good game. Obviously keep going for the rest of the season. Want him to stay healthy, and I got a lot of love for him. So it was very fun to go against him, and told him that I needed that jersey. We're going to exchange those at a later time.
You guys are in the second half. Do you think have you started figuring out who you are, what you do best? 85-9. You fed the ball a lot to them in the second half. Do you feel like that identity is starting to come around?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely been flashes all season of our identity, and I think the message has always been just trying to find that consistency. I think obviously getting Christian back was awesome. Just another explosive player, and what we want to be is the most explosive offense in the NFL. So I think just trying to find ways to be as consistent as possible, because we know what type of offense we're capable of being. It just comes down to making plays. And like I said, the first half, it wasn't up to our standard. And obviously I think the score reflected that. Some of our drives reflected that. Then you look at the flip side, and second half, we were able to do that. And so I think that's just what we need to be at all times, just trying to be as consistent as possible.
Pete asked you about kind of being in the zone on those 20 straight completions. That's the kind of thing Aaron would do. Any channeling of that in your game tonight, and just overall what you learned from him?
Oh man, I'm just trying to play my game, but like you said, obviously being behind A-Rod for 3 years, be able to see him and just the high level play that he was capable of going out there and doing, and being able to put the ball on the money, at all times was very cool for me to be able to see. But for me, it comes down to just trying to be the best quarterback I can be for the team. Trusting those guys, putting it out there for them to go make plays, and those guys, doing a great job of making those plays. So, that's kind of all it is.
7 regular season games with Micah as a teammate now. He had a big second day. Is there anything that's surprised you about him as a player, as a teammate, as a person, or anything that's kind of stood out so far for the Packers? No, I mean, Micah is a phenomenal player. I think everybody knew, who we were getting when we made that trade for him. So I think the most surprising thing for me is just the way he is every day at practice. The player you see out there on the field on Sundays is the same player at practice, where, we're trying to have to tell him to ease up sometimes and stay away from me at times, because he's always hunting, trying to get those sacks and trying to win every rep. So
I think it's one of those things we just got to keep going. But, we knew what type of player he is, and just trying to, go out there and be our best, and him doing that as well.
I know you have immense respect for Aaron. Was there any added pressure coming into this game, going up against the guy that they moved on from to go to you? And is there any more satisfaction that you came out on top? I know you don't go head-to-head with him, but that you played well and you guys came out on top in a game that also involved.
Yeah, for sure. There's that, like you said, there's that added level of pressure. I knew coming in this week, this is going to be a very hyped up game and very talked about game for A-Rod coming back and playing against the Packers for the first time. And, obviously us going up against each other. So, that. And like I said at the beginning of the week, my mindset was just trying to come out here and focus on getting that win. Trying to block all that extra stuff out and just be the player I need to be and focus on what their defense does and find ways to take advantage of that and coming out here and getting this win. But definitely I knew coming into the week what was entailed in this week.
Was the 4th and 1 call, was that something you guys practiced during the week? And it worked out great. He's wide open. Was that what you were seeing on film that made you think that play would work, or was
the flat to Tucker?
Yeah.
Yep. Nope. That was we've ran that play before, and that's exactly what we're trying to get right there. And everybody executed it at a high level. But I think it's a tough play for defense to stop on 4th and 1. You got a lot of different elements. You got to try and stop with the run or the pass, and obviously was able to get Tucker wide open right there for an easy completion.
Did you feel like that was a big play because the way that the half ended so badly for you guys, and that you're down, you needed some points? Did you feel like something might have turned there? Or?
No, for sure, definitely a big play. I think anytime you go for it on 4th down, in field goal range right there, could take the points. But coach giving us that trust to go for it. So anytime you're on the field on 4th down, to be able to convert that is a big play. And then I can't remember what we did after that, if we got a touchdown or not, but to come away with points, is big time. So, like I said, anytime you go for it on 4th down, converting that, gives you that extra layer of confidence and to try and go finish that drive off.
Huge game for Jordan Love, 29 for 37, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, a quarterback rating of 134.2. The Packers come away with a big 35-25 win in Week 8 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Packers now 5-1-1 on the season. They've got the Carolina Panthers coming up next week, I guess this week, Sunday, noon kickoff at Lambeau Field. We'll talk all about that and hear from Matt LaFleur coming up a little bit later on in the program as well. It's D.N.D. Doug, Nick, and Dave still to come in this hour from 24/7 Sports. We'll hear from our friend Nick Osen on all things Badgers football as they lose, but they played at times okay, he said with a question mark, against Oregon on Saturday night. They've got a bye week, their second bye week of the season, coming up this week before they take on Washington at home coming up a week from Saturday at Camp Randall Stadium. The NicoletLaw.com talk and text line always open to you. We'll spin through some of your messages coming up next. 877-794-1973. Again, 877-794-1973. It's D.N.D. Doug Russell, Nick Bruswitz, Dave Gasper. Stay with us on the game.
Hold tight. We're in for nasty weather. There has got to be a way. Burning down the house.
Stay tuned.
Yes.
D.N.D. will be back in just a moment.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1968.
California's Creedence Clearwater Revival released their debut LP, which contains the number 11 single, Susie Q. And in August, American band Tommy James and the Shondells have a number 1 hit in the UK with Moni Moni. It goes to number 8 in the US. And the Doors have their first number 1 album and their second and last number 1 single with Hello, I Love You.
When she moves, my brain screams out this song.
In November of 68, Van Morrison releases his second solo album, Astral Weeks, and Joe Cocker has a UK number 1 with his cover of the Beatles with A Little Help from My Friends.
Don't you know I'm gonna make you my friend?
And in December, Motown holds the top spot with number 1 hits from Marvin Gaye, I Heard It Through the Grapevine, and the Supremes with Love Child. The Beatles released their first single on their own Apple label, Hey Jude, back with Revolution. The over 7-minute song went to number 1 in the US and the UK.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more. From 1968, coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight. 1975.
In June of 75, the Bee Gees released the LP Main Course, featuring a more dance-oriented sound, and delivered 3 hit singles, including the number 1 Jive Talkin'. In July, Fleetwood Mac shake things up. They add Americans Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks to the lineup and have a number 1 album. And Wings released the album Venus and Mars, which goes to number 1. Their U.S. tour features Paul McCartney's first live appearance in the U.S. since 1966.
Our love is fine for all we know. For all we know, our love will grow. That's what the man said. So won't you listen to what the man said? He said.
In August of 75, the Eagles' 4th album goes to number 1 and has 3 top 5 singles, including the number 1 title track, One of These Nights. And the boss, Bruce Springsteen, is featured on the cover of Time magazine, and Born to Run becomes his breakthrough album, reaching number 3 in the U.S.
Come on with me, chance like us. Baby, we were born to run.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1975 coming up.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Peter Gabriel to reflect on the WOMAD Festival's evolution.
We initially started this WOMAD Festival in 1980. The first one was 82, and it was very naive enthusiasm for some of these strange and wonderful things we were hearing. And as a failed drummer, I was hearing grooves that I fell in love with, which seemed a lot more alive than what I was hearing on the radio. As a singer too, these wonderful voices, and it's still continued that way. And it's a lot more difficult, because the demise of the music business and record stores has made it extremely difficult for any minority interest label. But we work hard to focus online activities, and there is still, happy to say, good audience, and the WOMAD Festival is, I think, like a lot of live parts of the business, actually flourishing, even though the records are not doing as well.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Peter Gabriel and all your favorite artists.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top Elton John songs that you've thumbed up. Number 3, Tiny Dancer.
All the clothes are tiny dancer. Count the headlights on the highway. Baby darling, she's so blended.
Number 2, Rocket Man.
I'm not the man they think I am at home. Oh, no, no, no. I'm a rocket man. Rocket man. Burning out the fuse out of every home.
Number 1, Benny and the Jets.
She's gotta let me boost. I'm more than food. You know I'm better than a magazine. No. Benny and the Jets.
Hear more from Elton John and similar artists now. Search for Elton John on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
Welcome back in. It's the Game Radio Network. D.N.D. Doug Russell, Nick Brusewitz, Dave Gasper. The Packers on a victory chicken Monday, a 35-25 win over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Taking your messages on the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line 877-794-1973. This ahead of 24/7 sports beat reporter Nick Osen on all things Badgers Nation. Wisconsin with not an embarrassing loss at Oregon, which could have been an embarrassment. They've had far worse losses this year. They scored a touchdown. The bar right now with the Badgers football team isn't real high.
That was their best loss. Best loss.
Yeah. But I would also say
straight. That's the best one.
It was also their best loss last year too, I think.
Yeah, that was a game that they should have won.
So maybe they just play Oregon tough.
Yeah.
beat them, but they play them tough. And also Brian Kelly walks the plank. We've got some thoughts about that coming up as well. Let's go out to the talk and text line. Ty from North Dakota writes, nobody's talking about the O-line. They were fantastic with their pass blocking. That's my big key. I agree. Pass blocking was fantastic. Pass blocking was amazing.
Yeah, and I will say I'm pretty sure that from the 6 or 10 slot, Billy Schmid was talking about the O-line at some point during that show. The O-line was fantastic. I mean, being able to give Jordan Love a really good pocket most of that game, especially going up against that line with TJ Watt. I mean, that was a really great job. Great to have Zach Tom back out there. Was a little worried for half a second when he got his foot stepped on and he was down on the ground. It's like, oh no, that's not going to be good.
Just rub some dirt on it and let's go.
And he gets back in there. It's like, okay,
are you an offensive lineman or not?
Yeah,
right.
Gotta be tough.
I'm starting to feel like I wish the Steelers weren't as loyal to their players. You're watching the production of TJ Watt just diminish to nothing, and being paid an inordinate amount of money to do nothing is brutal. And we all know Love is elite when he has a clean pocket. He's as good as it gets. So, great performance there by the offensive line. Another message, Joe in Hartford. Nixon had to be happy that Rodgers stopped targeting him. Keyshawn Nixon, not a great game last night, and others picked him up. Carrington Valentine on the other side was
had a really good game. Yeah, Valentine had a really, really good game.
Yeah, but the point you mentioned there, Nick, about being too loyal almost to their players, I mean, it's kind of the tough balance where the Packers are almost a little bit on the opposite side somewhat because, I mean, for example, Aaron Rodgers, I mean, if you had the loyalty to Aaron Rodgers, like, no, we're just going to stick with him and ride it out until the end, paying him no matter what, then you wouldn't have this Jordan Love situation. You wouldn't have Aaron Rodgers being on the Steelers. And we see this time and again with Packers players where you get to that third contract and it's not like that they're keeping you around. And it's not that you haven't been a great player that they don't want to pay you. It's just not going to pay you for your decline. Like, yes, we're loyal, but we're not that loyal.
But that's also served them well, too. I mean, this is a team that's always making playoff runs. They haven't we all talk about Super Bowls, and I get that. And that has been a frustration.
Yeah.
And a legitimate frustration.
Yeah.
I think this is the best Packers team I've seen since 2011.
Yeah.
I think it's the most complete team that I've seen since it's the most on both sides of the ball. I don't know. I mean, this is the most complete team I've seen since maybe 98 or 97. I mean, they're stacked everywhere. I mean, Rashawn Gary right now has 7.5 sacks. Micah Parsons has 6.5 sacks.
That's beautiful.
They're getting home. That's the one big thing that they need. I mean, if Carrington Valentine played really well last night, Keyshawn Nixon didn't. We've been talking about Nate Hobbs, in the defensive secondary. I think they've got one elite safety and one who's on his way in Evan Williams. Xavier McKinney obviously is already there. They've got a great running back in Josh Jacobs. The offensive line has been banged up, but when healthy, we saw what they did last night. Christian Watson is back. They would love to get Jaden Reed back, but that's not going to happen anytime soon. Matthew Golden didn't need to be great last night. Christian Watson was great last night. Romeo Doubs is just one of those guys who is always talked about as, well, are they gonna sign him to another contract? Are they gonna trade him this offseason? Romeo Doubs, for all of his we'll call them quirks.
Yeah.
He and Jordan Love are on the same page. This is a complete team.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm just kind of raising the point of the parallels between, kind of the approaches there to roster building with the, super loyal on the one side, keeping guys maybe a little bit beyond their prime and getting rid of them maybe a year too late versus getting rid of them maybe a year too early and just kind of being on the side of let's get that next group in. And both have been pretty successful. I mean, the Steelers have not had a below 500 season in how long, Nick?
Well, since Tomlin got there, so
this
is his 19th year. So before that they
really
won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, extremely consistent.
And maybe they're too loyal to their head coaches too.
It's probably 04 maybe. Losing season.
The Steelers have had in my lifetime, and I'm an old man. In my lifetime, they've had 3 head coaches.
03. Well, they've only had 3 since the merger. They've only had 3: Noel, Cowher, and Tomlin. That's it.
Yeah. So it's been an incredible run of consistency. But you talk about too much loyalty, Nick, and maybe that's what we're kind of looking at. All right, Nick Ostin's going to join us next from 24/7 Sports, all things Badgers. Nick has certainly some thoughts on the team that he covers on a day in and day out basis as they lose again in the Big Ten. They still haven't won a Big Ten game since last year at Northwestern, at a stadium they don't play at anymore because they've now moved to Wrigley Field. We'll hit that coming up straight ahead. Stay with us. The NicoletLaw.com talking text line always open to you. 877-794-1973. Doug, Nick, and Dave. Doug Russell, Nick Bruzewitz, Dave Gasper on the Game Radio Network.
Want to watch D.N.D? They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
I like them even more.
Just search 97.3 The Game.
Now, a year in rock spotlight from 1977.
In February of 77, 60s band leader Manfred Mann has a new band and scores a U.S. #1 hit with a cover of Bruce Springsteen's song Blinded by the Light. In March, Foreigner released their debut album. It goes to #4 in the U.S., driven by 2 top 10 singles, Cold as Ice and Feels Like the First Time. Philadelphia blue-eyed soul duo Hall & Oates have their first U.S. #1 with Rich Girl from their 5th album, Bigger Than the Both of Us. Fleetwood Mac's album Rumors is released. It's their 2nd #1 album in a row in the U.S., dominating the charts at #1 for 31 weeks. It spawns 4 top 10 singles, including the #1 Dreams.
When the rain washes you clean, you know.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1977. Coming up.
Here are the top Bryan Adams songs that you've thumbed up.
Number 3.
Run to You.
When it gets too much, I need to feel your touch. I'm gonna run to you. I'm gonna run to you. 'Cause when the feeling's right, I'm gonna run all night. I'm gonna run to you.
Number 2.
Heaven.
Baby, you're all that I want. When you're lying here in my arms, I'm finding it hard to believe we're in heaven.
Number 1.
Summer of '69.
Standing on your mama's porch, you told me that it lasts forever. Oh, when you held my hand, I knew that it was now or never. Going for the best days of my life.
Hear more from Bryan Adams and similar artists now.
Search for Bryan Adams on iHeartRadio.
All your favorite music,
All your favorite stations.
all free. Now, a year in rock spotlight from 1977.
September of 77, American duo Steely Dan released their 6th album, Asia. It goes to #3 in the States on the strength of 2 top 20 hits, Peg and Deacon Blues. In October, the major label debut album by Meatloaf is released. Hits #14 in the U.S. and goes on to be one of the best-selling albums of all time.
I gotta know right now, before we go any further, do you love me? Will you love me forever?
Leonard Skinner released the album Street Survivor. 3 days later, singer Ronnie Van Zant and 2 other band members are killed in a plane crash. The album goes to #5 in the States, and the single What's Your Name hits #13.
What's your name, little girl? What's your name?
In November, Eric Clapton's Slow Hand is released. It goes to #2, driven by 3 hit singles, Cocaine, Wonderful Tonight, and Lay Down Sally.
Lay down, Sally, rest here in my arms. Don't you think you want someone to talk to?
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1977. Coming up.
D.N.D rolls on this Monday, October 27th, 2025. For the Packers, it's a Victory Chicken Monday. For the Badgers, well, we're still waiting. We're still looking for that first Big Ten win, although, as Nick said, and I think that that's probably true, this was their best loss of the year on the road against a top 10 team.
It's Moral Victory Chicken Monday.
It is Moral Victory Chicken Monday.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the Badgers' schedule this year, and I was just, wheel through the top 10. Ohio State, they still have Indiana on the schedule. Alabama's a top 5 team right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then Oregon, who they lost to on Saturday. Joining us on the program right now, our good friend from 24/7 Sports on the Badgers beat, all things Wisconsin athletics. We welcome in Nick Osen to the proceedings. Nick, appreciate the time. How are you today?
Guys, I always look forward to our segments. I'm doing really well, Doug. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for joining us on this Monday. Nick has called Wisconsin's loss against Oregon their best loss of the season. Do you agree?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, I got the sense, Doug, and, I wrote about this a lot this week and even after in kind of some reflective things that, it felt like this game didn't have much of a lead up at all, right? I understand fans have been disappointed. Obviously there was kind of the message from McIntosh last week that we hit on a lot. And I was really curious how kind of fans would be interacting on our site, message boards, all that. And I don't think you could have watched this game and not been at least some level of impressed with the defense. I think have seen some positives from those young guys that I'm sure we'll get into. And frankly, I thought that the Wisconsin defense was the best unit between either team for those first 20 minutes or so. Obviously, the run game got going for the Ducks. The offense continues to struggle for Wisconsin. But I completely agree with our friend Bruzewitz and just kind of how that game went. As we look forward, does it get easier? Like I just heard you, breaking down the schedule. Not really, but I think that there are some true positives and ideally some foundational building blocks going forward, Doug.
Nick, you wrote in your quick thoughts piece following the game, that you believe that they could win one, maybe 2 games the rest of the way if they play as good as they did on Saturday. And I would have to agree with you that it certainly opens the door versus getting blown out. Let's focus in on those young guys first and foremost. 21 combined tackles for Mason Posa and Cooper Catalano, true freshmen. And I think that they caught Badgers Nation by storm over the weekend, those that maybe had not been locked in on what they had done so far this year.
Yeah, Nick, those people, they must not have really been following our content, right? You and me, because we've been writing about these guys. Cooper Catalano since March. And, I mean, Posa, obviously, I had the great opportunity to cover him in New Mexico for a weekend last year and then just kind of see what he's done in fall camp. It's really interesting there, Bruce. He would tell you himself, he's even said it in an interview with me, that it took a little while for him to kind of get adjusted. This fall, obviously it's a big time opportunity compared to kind of some of the competition level out there. And then you just have kind of quietly and slowly seen some of that natural playmaking really come to the front. And then he, I got word of him starting. I know I mentioned it on our show, and it was going to be because essentially Christian Allegro obviously was out with the broken arm. But now I'm really intrigued when hopefully Allegro does come back, how things kind of shake out, right? Because he's been a good player, Allegro, so he still certainly deserves reps. But I think that the two of those guys together, Posa and Catalano, I mean, I kind of detailed it last week. They've got a really good friendship too. And in spots like that where there is so much communication, probably the most on the entire team other than quarterback, it's really important. It's beneficial. And I think that he's kind of your get him out in space, pass rush, athletic type of guy. Cooper Catalano has added speed. He's very strong, and he's just kind of a tackling machine. Each guy has now led the team in tackles the last 2 weeks. That's pretty unheard of, even at a school like this, just because they are so young. So I agree, Nick. As we do look forward, I would certainly think that those two names are often going to be in the plans.
Nick, the offensive line has been one of the more maligned groups this year, which we're not used to saying with Wisconsin football. But what did you make of their performance in this game, and perhaps as they're getting closer to finding maybe some consistency?
Yeah, Yeah, Dave, I actually thought they were pretty good. Other than maybe, I think probably 2 pass plays that I can really think of. I thought that Simmons generally had time. Obviously, he didn't play great. We know that. I do think some of it was because of the conditions, Oregon's good defense. But I thought pass pro, pretty solid. I thought in the run game, they were really good, actually, against an NFL loaded, talented front, essentially, for Oregon. So I wrote about this a little bit too, Dave. I think that Davis Heinzen, obviously you guys know me well enough. I do tend to look in the positive just within life, but I don't think you have to look too hard to kind of see what this young man has done. Started at left tackle game 1, right? Obviously really struggled. They make a change. Fans I know on my boards, were excited that they were shifting things, but weren't so nice about his performance. And this guy, this Wisconsin native, tells me, it would have been about 3 weeks ago in Michigan, I just went up to Coach Blazek. It's my last year of college football. I just asked what I could do. And obviously Jake Renfro, unfortunately, hasn't been able to stay healthy. Heinzen has stepped in at center, which he hasn't really played for 4 or 5 years. And I think he's done a really good job. There was maybe one tough snap there, but obviously tough weather conditions. You know what you've got on that left side. And then with Kadenko and Renfro out, Colin Coverly steps up, and he and Mandel are kind of forming this good right side that I think you're going to see moving forward. You bring back a guy like Kevin Haywood next year. I think there are some real positives, Dave. There's no question that group struggled. It hasn't been perfect, but I personally believe since kind of second half against Iowa, it has been quietly trending up.
Joining us from 24/7 Sports, Nick Osen on the Badgers beat. How much, in your opinion, did the game change in the third quarter when Darrell Peterson got ejected for targeting?
Yeah, Doug, it certainly hurt. Obviously he's been a pretty good player and very, I think, solid. He's like a high floor guy. But I'm not sure, it really would have affected things too much, if that makes sense, just because, Oregon's a top 5, top 6 team for a reason. They were eventually going to break through, right? And if Wisconsin's defense isn't getting help offensively, they're going to get tired at some point. I think the entire team really did their absolute best. It's just talent isn't quite what Oregon's is. It wasn't a perfect game offensively. I think Simmons missed some throws. There was a drop or two that maybe should have been caught, or just was a good defensive play. So all that to say, I personally wouldn't put a ton of really credence with that. But if it's the type of thing that we often see where then he's got to miss a half of the next game, that could really hurt Doug, because obviously he has been one of those vocal leaders on the defensive side of the ball.
Talking about stepping up, I felt like Gideon Atuka was going to get a chance here to kind of prove himself. And he's one of those guys that didn't have to stick around, right? He's buried on the depth chart. He has talent, as we saw this weekend. Cade goes down with an injury, and Gideon might be the last man left coming out of this bye week. What did you see from him in that backfield? I feel he's a north-south runner. What did you see?
Yeah, Nick, without question he is. There's not much back and forth dancing around with him. And if you look at him, if you've gone to, obviously camp practices, but also like squat fest, some of the weight room stuff, like he's maybe the strongest back, him or Yakameli probably in that group, but he's built like an NFL back. He's physical. Like I said, he doesn't overthink things. I thought that even not just pushing through the hole, but some of that initial burst too, even getting out of the hole and maybe slowly making a man miss or just running through an arm tackle. I thought he looked great. I know that even the fans that have been frustrated, disappointment, and understandably, I think that they saw somebody that they really liked watching. He runs, kind of like some of the great backs that we've seen. I'm not comparing him to some of those guys, but just the straight north-south, not overthinking physicality. He's good. And I think it does speak to the culture, as well as just Devin Spalding's great relationships in the room, that they did bring just about everybody back there too, Nick.
Nick, one of the chants we've heard throughout the season is fire Fickle. We've seen the push for that. We just saw another head coach get fired this weekend, Brian Kelly out in LSU. Just seeing all these coaches getting let go, all these programs all of a sudden having openings, but Chris McIntosh giving the vote of confidence in Luke Fickell. What do you kind of make of the landscape right now with college coaching?
Yeah, Dave, it's a good question. I'll take this, a couple ways. First of all, with Wisconsin, I mean, Nick knows, we've talked on a couple other shows too. It's just, this is what I expected first and foremost with Wisconsin. Not saying how the season's gone, but not making a move. Wisconsin just, for better, worse, however people want to look at it, they don't operate like an SEC program. Sometimes I think that's beneficial. Sometimes we'll see how money and NIL and things shake out with recruiting. But I just don't think they're kind of in the same levels of thinking with some of those moves and maybe the quickness that they approach it. But in terms of the general landscape, Dave, it is honestly insane, the amounts of money that are being thrown out there to basically give to somebody, hey, we don't want you here anymore. You take all this money, but you're gone. Then you got to buy out the rest of the staff often, and then also bringing in a new coach. And at some of these schools like Penn State, LSU, obviously Florida, like these huge spenders, these are going to end up costing $80, $90, $100 million plus. And that's just not the way, things are really going to be operated here, no matter what kind of fans are saying and some are looking for. So I would say it's a crazy time, but I've seen some funny tweets just that it can be a pretty good time to be a fired college football coach.
God,
right
I wish
now.
I could be a fired college football coach right now, because it all seems like this is just a rich person's, I guess, toy that if it's Team Boone Pickens, he's, paying off Mike Gundy, for example. What they're doing to Brian Kelly, a $53 million buyout, James Franklin. And then, you see something like James Franklin is potentially a candidate at LSU. Well, why? Why is he a candidate at LSU? And they ran him out on the rails in Penn State. It just defies logic. Dabo Swinney right now, who's having a miserable season at Clemson, he's thought of as a potential replacement for Brian Kelly. These things don't make any sense. Either you're going to get a retread, you're going to get somebody who has some sort of, I guess, cachet, a hot offensive coordinator right now, but there just doesn't seem to be a whole lot of end game to all of this, money nonsense that's being floated around in college athletics right now. And you wonder what the end game is and whether or not there's going to really be somebody who can be all things to all people, because that's what it feels like these coaches are expected to be when they're hired for these mega bucks deals. Nick Osen from 24/7 Sports. Nick, we always appreciate the time. We always love your insights, and let's do it again soon.
Looking forward to it, guys. We got some basketball this week as well. Appreciate it.
Yeah, baby. We'll talk some hoops later on in the week. This is the Badgers football bye week, or the second bye week as well. So let's get into some round ball with Nick Osen coming up later on this week. All right, hour number 1 of D.N.D. is in the books. Coming up in hour number 2, we'll hear a little bit more from Pittsburgh. We'll hear a little bit from Matt LaFleur, his post-game news conference as well. We'll get a top of the hour sports update with Dave Gasper. That's coming your way straight ahead. Stay with us on The Game.
Want to watch D.N.D? They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
There you go.
There we go.
Just search 97.3 The Game.
Now, a year in rock spotlight from 1976.
Bob Dylan releases his album Desire. It goes to number 1 in the States, thanks mainly to significant radio airplay for the single Hurricane.
Couldn't help but make me feel ashamed to live in a land where justice is a game.
Scottish sensations, the Bay City Rollers, finally score a hit in the U.S. with the number 1 single, Saturday Night.
Saturday
In February, former Steve Miller Band member Boz Scaggs has a number 2 U.S. album with Silk Degrees. Peter Frampton hits number 1 with his double live album Frampton Comes Alive. It would become the best-selling album of 1976.
I want you, show me the way. Every day, I want you, show me the way. Night and day.
In March, Irish hard rockers Thin Lizzy's 6th album, Jailbreak, scores them a number 12 hit single with The Boys Are Back in Town.
The boys are back in town again. Been hanging down at Demos.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1976, coming up.
iHeartRadio.
Here are the top Michael Jackson songs you've thumbed up. Number 3, The Way You Make Me Feel.
The way you make
Number 2. Beat It. Number 1. Billie Jean.
She just a girl that I'm the one, but the kid is not my son.
Hear more from Michael Jackson and similar artists now. Search for Michael Jackson on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1975.
In September, the Isley Brothers have a number 1 album, The Heat Is On, driven by the number 4 single, Fight the Power. Alive is a 2-record live album that goes to number 9 for Kiss. They released the single Rock and Roll All Night, which goes to number 12. David Bowie switches to Philly Soul on the LP Young Americans, featuring the number 1 single Fame, which was co-written by John Lennon. UK rock band Foghat have a top 20 hit with Slow Ride from the album Fool for the City. In October of 75, Pink Floyd released their follow-up to Dark Side of the Moon. Wish You Were Here goes to number 1 in the US and the UK.
What have we found? Same old fear. Wish you were here.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1975. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1974.
In April, Diamond Dogs is a number 1 album in the UK for David Bowie. It goes to number 5 in the US.
Rebel, rebel, you torn your dress. Rebel, rebel, your face is a mess. Rebel, rebel, how could they know? Hot tramp, I love you so.
In June of 1974, Chicago funk band Rufus, featuring lead singer Shaka Khan, score a number 3 hit with Tell Me Something Good. UK supergroup Bad Company have a number 1 album and a top 5 single, Can't Get Enough.
I can't get enough of your love. I can't get enough of your love. I can't get enough of your love. Yeah, this one.
And Dutch hard rock band Golden Earring have a number 13 hit with the single Radar Love.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1974. Coming up.
Broadcasting from the all-new Iron Jock Studios, built by Rima Remodel.
Let's get this going right now.
This is WRNW-FM Milwaukee, 97.3 The Game.
He's very knowledgeable, very intelligent guy, very personable guy.
Here's Dave Gasper.
Well, yesterday was National Tight Ends Day, and Tucker Kraft just had to celebrate.
Toss right side, got Kraft. Makes the turn of the 10. Breaks the tackle with the 5.
There
He's
we
in the
go.
end zone for a touchdown.
Tucker Kraft had 143 yards and 2 touchdowns
Is that
on the
good?
day. Yeah, that's pretty good. Sources are telling me.
Okay. Confirmed. Yeah, Tucker Kraft had a wild day. He led the NFL in reception yards yesterday. Like you said, he went off career game, 7 reception, 143 yards, 2 tugs. He has turned into an elite tight end.
Yeah, he has in short order. And I mean, he was the second tight end picked in that draft class. We all thought, oh, yeah, Luke Musgrave is going to be the future at tight end for Green Bay.
Nope.
And instead, it's Tucker Kraft.
Well, Musgrave was supposed to be the pass catcher, and Kraft was supposed to be more of the run blocker.
Yeah.
Musgrave then got hurt. He had a busted up ankle. Tucker Kraft kind of Wally pipped him a little bit and has outplayed him. And
Lacerated kidney.
yeah, that was that was
no
an issue
fun.
too. No. So, I mean, part of it is bad luck on the part of Musgrave, but you look at Tucker Kraft, and he's still a 3rd-round draft choice. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's still a legitimately high draft pick to be
Day
able to
2.
go in there and perform. The problem is the Packers under Brian Gutekunst's drafting, they historically have done pretty poorly in the 3rd round, with the exception of Tucker Kraft, who's been great.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at that list of names and it's like, just a lot of misses, but Tucker Kraft.
Josiah DeGuara.
Well, and I spent months talking about if Tucker Kraft might be the best offensive player on the Packers offense this year. I mean, you can ask Wayne Larrivee, you can ask any Packers guest we had throughout March, April, May, June, July, August, and into this regular season. I kept saying, is Tucker Kraft the best player on the offense? Is he that close to being elite? And clearly he is.
I think those are two different questions, though. Is Tucker Kraft the best player on the offense? You need your
yes.
No, I think you need your quarterback to be your best player on offense. If your quarterback's not your best player on offense, you're probably in trouble.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who your tight end is if you can't get him the ball.
Kittle and the Niners made it to the Super Bowl multiple times.
And there's your outlier.
Average quarterback play.
I agree, but that's also he's an outlier. I think, isn't he? Because you look at whoever gets to the Super Bowl. I mean, they usually, not always, they usually do it because the quarterback is the best player on offense.
I mean, you look at last year, both times the Eagles made the Super Bowl. Would you say Jalen Hurts is their best player?
Saquon was really good last year, but Jalen Hurts is elite though too. I mean,
Joe Burrow, but is he the best player?
He's elite.
Or Jamar Chase?
Yeah, I'll tell you who is elite. It was the Packers fans at Acrisure Stadium yesterday shouting, "Go Pack, go" the entire time. And QB1 for the Steelers, he heard him.
I've heard that chant for 18 years. So Packer fans travel really well. First time in a while I'd use silent count for a home game. That's a credit to those Packer fans.
Silent count for a home game for Aaron Rodgers. Nick, that's got to sting just a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's the reality of facing the Green Bay Packers. I'd make the argument that last night is far less significant than last week when in Arizona they had to go to the silent count for all offensive action for the Cardinals because the Packers fans had taken over State Farm Stadium. But yeah, this is not like a one-time situation. I mean, this is history. Packers fans have always done this. But it is a little weird. To be like, hey, we're the home team, but we have to play like we're a road team.
And they've had this one circled for the longest time.
Mm-hmm. Well, everybody in the NFL had this one circled.
Yeah.
And Aaron Rodgers even talked about it before and after the game that, it would have had more juice if it were at Lambeau Field. But still, this is when it came out on the schedule, and I've talked about this a couple of times, that there was this narrative that, they're going to be playing in Dublin. No. They're not going to bury Aaron Rodgers against the Packers at 8:30 in the morning. What are you, high?
You huffing grass?
Are you huffing grass?
Yeah.
Absolutely not. This was going to be a primetime game. And even it was a primetime game before Aaron Rodgers signed with the Steelers because everybody was reading the tea leaves that he was going to Pittsburgh. They released the schedule before Aaron signed his contract. That's how sure they were going to be that this was going to be the matchup. And they were right. And it had all the juice. And Aaron didn't play poorly.
No.
He just got outplayed by Jordan Love, who's turning himself into, in his 3rd season as a starter, like Aaron did, like Brett did, turning himself into a really damn good quarterback on the cusp, not there yet, on the cusp of being elite.
Yeah, and a lot of selfish plays, flags, penalties for Steelers that didn't help them there in the second half either. But yeah, Packers end up winning 35-25. And finally, they got a win with not exactly 27 points on the board. So they finally broke that.
Well done.
Speaking of getting points on the board, finally.
2nd and goal at the 2. Now into the shotgun. Atuka to the right of Hunter Simmons. Chris Brooks wide right. Benny Anthony wide left. Simmons gets the snap, and he'll throw it right side. Caught by Mason. Touchdown, Wisconsin. There, I said it.
How'd that feel?
Felt good.
It felt good. Finally.
Yeah. That's great.
Touchdown Wisconsin is back.
I bet that did feel good, Matt.
Yeah, they went, 3 games and 3 quarters of total game time without a touchdown. First and foremost, Eugene Hilton, that was a touchdown. So thankfully, they still found a way to finish off that possession. They showed the replay 100 times. If it had been called a touchdown, it would have been confirmed as a touchdown. But yeah, I mean, sometimes you got to get a little bit of luck. Simmons just with a prayer, and Eugene Hilton comes down with it, and they finish it off for the score.
Yeah.
Fired up. Felt good.
Yeah, it was good. And finally get to hear that call again from Matt LePay.
So good.
Yeah,
He's so good at that.
So good. Yeah. It's
like when the Badgers football team is rolling and you hear that call a lot.
Yeah.
Just there are fewer things.
Oh yeah.
We had credit Dave McCann on that too, because the production for that to not like spike and not be terrible
Dave's
because
the
of how
best.
animated he gets. I mean, elite.
Yeah. Speaking of elite, Dave McCann there.
I have said that we need to protect him at all costs, and if that means wrapping him up in bubble wrap, then we have to wrap him up in bubble wrap because he is one.
We
of
gotta do
one.
it. Absolutely. And yeah, just I forgot where I was going to go there. Dang it. Okay.
We were talking about elite. Dave
you.
McCann's name came up,
Elite,
and we just needed to
Matt
show
LePay, touchdown call.
Needed to show proper respect.
Yeah, I asked Matt LePay about it on Friday. I'm just kind of like, it's been so long. Like, how do you make sure the call doesn't get rusty? Like how do you keep it fresh, keep it going? But
do you practice? Does he practice it, or is it just after 30 however many years? Yeah. Is it just ingrained in him? Is it just in his veins?
You'd think, but it's been so long since he's had that call, so it's like you got to make sure.
Yeah.
So, but
yeah.
Does
he practice it up at the cabin during the off season?
Like probably. That's probably how you get to be that good.
Could be.
So,
I mean, when he's out there fishing, it's like touchdown, Wisconsin, and he's pulling
just randomly
he's pulling a trout out.
He's at the driving range, and guys are about to tee off,
and he just rips one off.
Just randomly touchdown Wisconsin.
Oh, God!
And you're not going to get mad at him because
you can't.
It's one of the most indelible calls that has ever been made on a sports broadcast in this state. You think about, here's an off-topic topic. What's the most indelible call? I mean, you got your get up, get out of here.
Gone.
You got your dagger. You got your touchdown, Wisconsin. I mean, these are things that are just, like I say, just injected into your veins.
Yeah.
Ted's call when the Bucks won the NBA championship. I mean, that's an incredible call too, but it's not one that's been repeated over and over and over again.
Yeah.
That's something to think about.
Yeah. Just something there. Game 3 of the World Series tonight. So over the weekend, Blue Jays got to Blake Snell in game 1, then the Dodgers win game 2, 5-1. So series tied at 1. Tyler Glasnow versus Max Scherzer for game 3. So that's going to be a top-notch pitching matchup there. And then also some news from over the weekend. LSU fired Brian Kelly, and today they fired their offensive coordinator, Joe Sloan. Apparently, LSU wanted Kelly to fire Sloan just firsthand, and then Kelly said no. So then they fired Kelly, and then now they fired Sloan.
Well, we're we're not necessarily unfamiliar to that practice around these parts.
No,
what do you mean, Nick?
I want you to fire that guy, let alone our fearless leader. A month later, also, famously let go. Brian Kelly sucks from day one. Since he got there, I don't think he's a good. Don't think he's a good person. It took 3 losses in the SEC instead of the death of one of his video coordinator individual students a couple of years ago to get him fired. So,
now let's be fair. He killed the kid.
Guy.
He killed the kid. Well, I shouldn't say he killed the kid.
He killed the kid. Clip it, Dave.
That young man died and it was tragic. It was horrible. I don't want to make light of it. It's an awful situation, but that young man died when they were at Notre Dame.
Oh, well, there you go.
So
well,
I do not mean
died at Notre Dame, died at LSU.
Do I think that Brian Kelly was at least partially responsible for that? Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I saw a
He's
video.
the Alec Baldwin of college football.
Oh, okay. Now. Wow. Okay.
That's
anyways.
Partially responsible.
I mean, he wouldn't send if he didn't send the kid up in terrible conditions and windy conditions, unsafe conditions, the young man might still, I would anticipate him still being here.
Yeah. I saw a video of Brian Kelly leaving the stadium at LSU.
Did he leave his fake accent in Baton Rouge?
I hope so.
When he
think
left?
he did.
Okay.
But he left it double parked up against a handicap spot.
Of course he did.
Is where he was.
Of course.
So it's like, oh yeah, here's his car. It's like, wait a minute, he is a little bit over the line there. That's a handicap spot next to him. Come on,
guy.
Brian.
What
Come
a
on,
guy.
Brian Kelly. But
Yeah, Brian Kelly is, I mean, he should have never left Notre Dame, but Notre Dame was sick of him. They got to glow up when Marcus Freeman took that job, and he's been a better head coach there than Brian Kelly ever was.
I'm here with my family.
My family.
My family.
I'm here with my family.
I'm here with my family. Here
I mean,
in
that's
Baton-
got to be
in
insulting,
Baton
honestly.
Rouge. At least with Coach O, who was a goof,
Yeah.
at least you knew the accent was real.
Oh, yeah, that was authentic. That is Louisiana Cajun through and through.
That's some straight man touffee. That's some po' boy sandwich. And he also
You want
like,
some gumbo? I know where we can get some good gumbo. Come on, I'll show you some gumbo.
but the problem was,
Blah, 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 blah.
well, but the problem was he couldn't keep it to himself, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Hey.
Well,
yeah.
some coaches can do both, but I guess he couldn't pull it off.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
just
Brian
don't
Kelly-
try to ride out of town on your
Yeah,
motorcycle.
Try to pull it off, pull it out, whatever. Who's to say?
Brian Kelly will get another job somewhere. And
Probably
that's the
will.
tough part
I don't
here,
think Nick
right?
picked
I
up
mean,
on it.
No,
I don't know what picked up on what, Dave.
Nothing.
So with Brian Kelly, though, he doesn't need a coach. He's got a $53 million parachute.
He needs coaching. It's an ego thing.
Maybe he's
He needs it.
64. He could ride off into the sunset, but what kind of job does he want? Does he want to take a reclamation project at a smaller school? Because nobody's going to hire this fraud to be the coach of an elite program. Those days are over. I mean, he went from Cincinnati to Notre Dame. He had a nice trajectory, and then he got the bag at LSU, and didn't live up to expectations, and pissed off a lot of people along the way.
He won a lot of games. The problem was that it just didn't win enough, right?
Yeah.
I think 12 total
Look at James
losses or
Franklin.
something. Right.
James Franklin won a ton of games at Penn State. Not a lot of big games at Penn State, but he won a lot of games, and he got shown the door.
Yeah, I mean, these guys, it's like a brotherhood of, once you're in, and you just keep getting opportunity after opportunity. I mean, Brian Kelly, if he wants to coach, which my assumption is he will get another job, and it won't be at like a small school. Maybe it won't be at Penn State, but I do think an opportunity will arise, a chance for him to kind of reestablish himself.
Yeah, I mean, if Bill Belichick can get a job in college football,
but
yeah,
he's the greatest coach of all time.
Just ask Jordan.
Yeah.
So the thing about Bill Belichick is how much is he sullying his reputation? How much is he sullying his legacy? Because this is a guy who won 6 Super Bowls. I mean, this is a guy who was thought of as the greatest coach in NFL history. And, there's an argument to be made for it. I don't know if you put him up against Lombardi. I mean, Lombardi wasn't perfect, but he died young and had all that success with the Packers. So he's kind of elevated. The trophy is named after him. That's when television really started to become a thing. So, his legend has been elevated, but he wasn't without flaw. He wasn't a great general manager.
Just gotta give Bill some time.
When
here.
Jack Vanese died, that was a problem for Vince. He held grudges, and when the team got old, he left, and then he went to Washington. Listen, I don't want to piss on Vince Lombardi. Vince Lombardi's a legend. Vince Lombardi is everything that you wanted him to be as Packers head coach. I'm just saying he wasn't perfect. And what we're seeing from Bill Belichick is this last chapter of his coaching career. However long it lasts, it ain't perfect.
And I don't think it's going to last very long.
It's probably not going to last very long.
If it keeps going at this rate, I know North Carolina's getting whatever publicity, and they're paying him a lot of money, and they're saying that this is all going to be good, but it is just really rough looking out here. And
they were a 2-point conversion away from beating a ranked opponent on Saturday,
Mm-hmm.
and they lost by 3 to Cal the week prior on the road. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say that this is a good situation or that it's been going well, but it's the first year with a collegiate program that was not competing at the highest level.
Yeah.
They were in the Fenway Bowl last year. I'll give them that. 6-6 in the regular season. I think next season will be when you start making some judgments on if Belichick is capable of coaching the team. Judgments can certainly be made on the circus that surrounds it. It's mind-numbingly dumb.
It's
Michael Lombardi in Saudi Arabia meeting with these people. It's like
trying to get funding and NIL
Come on.
stuff. Like, really, you got to go to the Saudis for this?
It's unseemly, is what it is. It's sometimes, and to your point, Nick, and I think that there's something to that. With these guys, it's an ego thing, and coaching is in your blood, and you don't want to have your final chapter be the way that it's written sometimes. And Belichick, the way that things ended in New England was kind of messy. And I think that he just wanted to have a better taste, for his final chapter, but it's only gotten worse. Some of it has to do with his barely legal girlfriend. Some of it has to do with hubris. Some of it has to do with he's just not, in my opinion, built for the college game.
Yeah, no, I'm completely with you. I mean, he spent so much time in the pro game and scouting college players and looking at those guys and building a roster that way. I mean, he was the GM out there in New England for the longest time, which as a college coach, you're kind of sort of also like the GM putting the roster together, but still, it is a completely different game trying to recruit high school kids. You don't have a draft process where you can just pick the ones that you want and you're going to get them and no one else can't. Like, that's not how it is going to go in college. So, the adjustment process, because when was the last time did he ever coach in college in his
Belichick?
career? Yeah, Belichick. Prior to this.
He was at Navy.
assistant.
Yeah, he was an assistant. He was never a head coach.
In like what, the 1980s?
Yeah.
Maybe even earlier.
Let our friend. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Let our friends at Wikipedia tell me. So.
Yeah. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but a lot has changed in the college football landscape from the last time Bill Belichick was coaching.
So Bill Belichick began his coaching career as a special assistant with the Baltimore Colts.
Oh.
Then he was with the Lions, Broncos, Giants. Oh, maybe he never did coach. He has never held a job until this year in college football.
That's right.
I stand corrected.
They have family ties to both North Carolina, obviously.
Family.
And the Naval Academy. I think he was a graduate assistant or something at Navy with his dad.
Not according to Wikipedia.
Yeah, I'm digging
Wikipedia, famously a reliable source, though.
Actually, not as bad. It gets a bad rap.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty good.
Because my teachers would always tell me you can't use Wikipedia as a source.
Wikipedia didn't exist when I was in college.
That's
right.
fair. Yeah.
Encyclopedia.
Yeah, we called it. We went, you had to go to Polk Library and go check out the latest encyclopedia. And
That's probably why you
actually had to
learned a
look
few
things up. Yeah.
That's right. You probably learned because the effort, like the energy exerted in finding the information probably created some sort of memory.
Yeah.
We just look things up and then forget.
Sure.
It's like, oh, there it is. There.
We had to make the effort to actually go look things up. It was before the internet. It was before cell phones. It was before,
right.
All this stuff.
Imagine my surprise in college as a journalism major when they made me go and use physical.
Good.
So they make you put the gloves on in the library to turn the pages of the books
why,
from 100 years ago.
That's why the University of Wisconsin is an elite academic institution, because they actually make you go and do that stuff.
I always enjoyed it because at the library here, the historical library, you'd have to get in the elevator and close that metal gate in front of you. Old elevator that would go up at a mile per hour, one floor at a time.
Yeah.
I mean, one floor at a time is generally how elevators go, but yeah.
I assume they stop at every floor.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Ding, we're at one floor, and then you'd have to close it again, go to the next floor.
Okay.
I mean, that's a good point, Dave. Sometimes it goes 2 floors at a time, but it's in a free fall.
Yeah. That's not as fun, though.
I had an elevator. I was between the first and second floor when I was a freshman, and it fell to the basement. We fell 20 feet.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, it was fine. It caught itself, but
it was
in that
fine.
split second with my roommate, we lock eyes as we're slightly airbound as the thing starts collapsing.
It starts to fall, and you start confessing your, darkest.
I've always loved
secrets.
You. Wait, what?
It's like that scene in Almost Famous.
Oh,
when the plane is going down.
I don't know it. Almost Famous.
See, that's a great movie.
You got to get cultured, Nick.
Yeah.
Who's in it? Kate Hudson?
Kate Hudson's in it. Billy Crudup's in it. A very young Kate Hudson is in it. She plays Penny Lane. She's in it. Billy Crudup is in
Daughter
it.
of Kurt Russell.
Stepdaughter, but yes. Goldie Hawn's her
Daughter
mom.
of Goldie Hawn.
Yes. Bill Hudson's her biological father. It's more than I really ever knew about Kate Hudson. But yeah, she calls Kurt Russell Pa.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah,
good.
Zoe
We're learning
Deschanel.
a thing or
Zoe
two today.
Deschanel's in it. Oh, Zoe Deschanel's in it. Frances McDormand is in it. The lead is played by an actor who hasn't really done much since, Patrick
Billy
Fugit.
Crudup.
Yeah, he's in it. Plays Russell Hammond,
That's
the lead
good.
singer of Stillwater. That's a great movie, Nick. Listen, if you like music at all, and I don't know.
Yeah. No, I've been told that this movie has been recommended to me multiple times.
I would say it's one of my top 5 movies of all time.
I have about
The Tiny Dancer scene is just one of the great cinematic scenes of any film that has ever been made. It's just it's classic. It's indelible. It gets into your veins and it ties the story together just so perfectly. Cameron Crowe wrote it and wrote that scene. It's semi-autobiographical. Actually, it's quite autobiographical. Philip Seymour Hoffman is in it. It's a great movie.
Yeah. I have about 10 streaming services and it's only on Paramount Plus, the one I don't have.
I probably have it on
rent it.
DVD. And what's a DVD, Grandpa?
What's a DVD? Yeah.
It's a good thing I still have a PlayStation. Otherwise, there's
Okay.
no way to play it. I mean, you put it in my PlayStation, that works, but
I've
no
got
one
a-
else's DVD players.
In February, I have a 9-hour flight that I'm trying to pick movies from. And that's going to be Almost Famous is definitely on the travel roster.
Speculating 9-hour flight. That's probably West Coast, Hawaii. How far away is Hawaii?
It's Hawaii. Yeah. It's
Yes.
Hawaii. Yeah, it's Hawaii.
I knew it.
West Coast is about 3.5 hours. Hawaii
Right,
is
right.
about 9.
That's what I was trying to figure out, though, like what direction you'd be going in that you would be 9 hours in that direction and you'd end up somewhere of interest.
He's either going to like Italy or Hawaii.
Yeah.
I think Italy's longer, right?
Italy's not quite as long. Italy's about 7 or 8.
I have no semblance. I've never been outside of the continental U.S.
Well, you're young.
Yeah.
You got plenty of time to travel.
I've never
You got plenty of time to see the world.
Yeah, you might have some extra time coming up in a couple of months. But
Canada. Never been to Canada. I think that's
Canada's
within
easy.
reach.
It's attached.
Canada's
I've never
great.
been-
Yeah.
I've never been to
Play the
Iowa.
World Series in Canada. You've never been to Iowa.
I was just,
If you
someone
ask
was
Billy, that you're not missing much.
someone was just ripping on me. They're like, seriously, it's 2 hours. I'm like, yep, never been. I mean, why would I need it? What is there? And they're like, go to Dubuque, go to this.
The
And I was
Waterloo
like,
Bucks of the Northwoods League.
The Waterloo Bucks of the Northwoods League.
Yeah, that's where I was multiple times
Okay.
during one summer.
Very nice.
Yeah, there's not much else in that town, I will say. But
In the state. Yeah, there's a lot of corn. There's the corn. Famously, there's the Corn
Famously.
Palace.
yeah,
That's
lots of corn.
If you ever find yourself wanting to go to the Corn Palace,
wait.
I'll want to go to Field of Dreams.
I've
Corn
been to Field of Dreams. I
Yeah.
was at Field of Dreams before they ruined it.
Oh,
Corn
nice.
Palace is in South Dakota.
Oh, is it? All right, never mind. Nothing,
You
Either
almost
way,
had
it's
me,
still
man.
not missing much.
nothing to
You
see here.
almost had me because I was like, I've been to Iowa because I've been to the Corn Palace. Now I have to look it up. It's in South Dakota.
It's in South Dakota. Well, all right,
Yeah,
my
not
bad. They all kind of blend
anything
together after
cool.
all. You know,
Yeah.
that is right because oddly, my wife and I have been together to, I think, 43 states.
Nice.
And South Dakota is one of them. And we have been to the Corn Palace together. And Iowa, oddly, is not one of the states that we've been together.
Oh, well, there's
Really?
no national parks there.
There are no national parks there. We haven't been, we've been within a 1/10 of a mile to the state of Michigan, but we've never been to the state of Michigan together.
Oh,
And they are both attached to Wisconsin.
nice.
But we've been to 43 other states together,
There you
except
go.
for those two. So, yes.
I know our guy Reed Magnum just told me the one state he's never been to is Oregon. He's been to 49.
Oregon
Like,
was my last state. That was
Really?
my 50th state visited. Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah,
So Reed and I have that in common. He'll knock that down
yeah. Some point.
at some point. All right. We will be back as we leave you with some Tiny Dancer.
Yeah.
Play us out, Elton John, because I'm telling you, one of the great cinematic scenes of all time. Thanks to our friend Cameron Crowe for writing, directing, and shepherding the wonderful movie that Nick has to watch at some point. And every cultured person has to watch Almost Famous. Take it away, Elton.
D.N.D. with Doug, Nick, and Dave.
This pains me to say this, but Dave's right.
Hey, why does that pain you to say? I'm right quite a bit, I think.
Middays here on the game.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1969.
Low-budget film Easy Rider captures the public imagination with a soundtrack by Steppenwolf, the Byrds, and the Electric Prunes. The Woodstock Music and Art Fair is held August 15th through 18th on Max Yasgur's farm in Bethel. 32 of the biggest bands of the day played to a crowd estimated at 500,000. The event is later released as a movie and album. And with the boost from their appearance at Woodstock, San Francisco band Santana hits the top 10 with their debut album, Evil Ways. The festival undoubtedly immortalized Jimi Hendrix and ushered in the era of large rock concerts and arena rock bands. Also in October, Led Zeppelin have their only U.S. top 10 hit when Whole Lotta Love reaches number 4.
I'm gonna give you my love. I'm gonna give you my love. Oh, whole lot of love.
The Allman Brothers Band released their debut album on Capricorn Records to good reviews but limited sales. And 7 years after his last number one, Elvis Presley tops the charts with Suspicious Minds.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1969. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1970.
Don't keep me waiting here. Lead me to
The Beatles released the Phil Spector-produced album Let It Be. It generates 3 number one hits, Get Back, Let It Be, and their final number one, The Long and Winding Road. The Kinks song Lola, about a romantic encounter with a transvestite, makes number 2 UK and number 9 US. In July, the Stooges released their second album on Elektra Records, Fun House. And British band Mungo Jerry are number 1 in the UK, number 3 in the US with the single In the Summertime.
have a drink, have a drive. Go out and see what you can find.
In August, Eric Clapton releases his first solo album and scores a top 20 hit with his cover of J.J. Cale's After Midnight. Neil Diamond scores his first number one with Cracklin' Rosie. September of 1970, Neil Young has a top 10 album with After the Gold Rush. War, an anti-war protest song by Edwin Starr, tops the charts.
What is it good for? You tell me. Say it.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1970. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1973.
In November of 73, Billy Joel's second album yields a minor hit with Piano Man, which goes to number 25.
Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling all right.
Ringo Starr continues his solo success with the number 2 album and 3 top 10 hits, including 2 number ones, Photograph and You're 16. Meanwhile, John Lennon releases his 4th solo album, Mind Games, which goes to number 9 in the U.S. And in December, the single Taking Care of Business drives the second album by Canadian rock band Bachman Turner Overdrive to number 4. Emerson, Lake and Palmer released their 4th album, Brain Salad Surgery, which goes to number 11. And after passing away in a plane crash in September, Jim Croce has a posthumous number 1 with Time in a Bottle.
Looked around enough to know you're the one I want to go through time.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1973. Coming up.
We call it Wagertainment.
All right, place your bets, place your bets.
VSiN, every night at 6. Presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Bet above the rest on Fox Sports 920.
After splitting in San Jose last weekend, Milwaukee returns home to start a 4-game homestand. Wednesday, the Admirals host Chicago. Wrist shot at the post. Rebound scored! David Edstrom will get his first as a pro. Pre-game coverage at 6:30. Face-off at 7 on Fox Sports 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
Take this job and shove it. I ain't working here no more. A woman done left, took all the reason I was working.
Big Johnny Paycheck fan?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
It's D.N.D, Duck, Nick, and Dave. Here on this Monday, October 27th, a Victory Chicken Monday for your Green Bay Packers. They came away with a huge win last night over the Pittsburgh Steelers and Aaron Rodgers. Final score 35-25. Jordan Love looking outstanding, looking elite. I don't put him in the elite quarterback category yet, but he's kind of on the cusp of it a little bit. 29 of 37, 3 touchdowns.
He's in the grouping of he's absolutely the franchise quarterback on his team, and that means pretty damn good, right? I mean, like, people will look at Kyler Murray and question, is he a franchise quarterback? He's good, but is he that? Love is in the next
Jacoby
level.
Brissett might be better. Jacoby Brissett
well,
might
that's
be
the question.
Might be.
Right.
The NicoletLaw.com talk and text line always open to you at 877-794-1973. Tim is in Janesville. Tim, thanks for hanging on. You are on D&D.
Hey, guys. Great game. Best game since the Dallas playoff game.
Yeah, I mean, I think that if you're looking at elite games for Jordan Love, I mean, these are benchmark games. I mean, anytime you get a playoff win and an upset, and then you go up against, the hype that this game had, I mean, Jordan Love has performed really well when the spotlight is on him, by and large.
Hey, guys, I don't know if you know this stat, but when, Christian Watson has been hurt a lot, since he got here, but when he plays, they average 5 more points a game than when he doesn't, but that's incredible.
That is incredible.
It bore true last night, too. They scored 8 points more than they usually do. But, if our offensive line can just stay healthy for the rest of the year, I think we can maybe win the division and get a top 2 seed. But, we got a big game against Philadelphia in 2 weeks and then in Detroit. But it's looking really good, and the defense is playing pretty good, too. But I'm going to be a Minnesota Viking fan next week, just for 1 week, guys.
That's okay. That's perfectly acceptable because it's all for the bigger scheme of things. Thanks for the call, Tim. Appreciate it. You can always hit us up on the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line 877-794-1973. Yeah, Christian Watson, having him out there, I didn't know the 5 points per game stat. I had not heard that before.
I jotted it down last year. The explosive play rate, both in the passing and running game, with him active, number 1, and without him, bottom 3rd. And I can't speak to the numbers and where they were at this year and where the Packers stacked up, but it looked pretty damn explosive at times last night.
After his rookie
with Watson.
After his rookie season, I made the statement. So we were up at training camp, and we had this, it wasn't aired or anything, but it was this symposium is probably overselling it a little bit. But we were at the bar in Oshkosh in the shadows of Lambeau Field. And I'm trying to think who was all up on the stage. We had like an off-air thing. So it was me, it was Matt Schneidman, it was Wayne, and was it Wes? I'm not sure. And Zabe was the MC, and it was the 4 of us that were up on stage. And I made the statement that now the big caveat to this was if he stays healthy. But my statement was if he stays healthy, Christian Watson has the opportunity to be the greatest wide receiver in Packers history. And people looked at me like I had a third eye in the middle of my forehead. And I stand by that. He hasn't been able to stay healthy. But I stand by that because we see what kind of an impact he can have. And this was before the Cowboys game. This was, or was it? Well, maybe it wasn't after. That was in his rookie season, 2022. The dates, after a while, the dates kind of get conflated a little bit. But we saw, but we've seen what he can do. We've seen that he can take the top off of the defense. We've seen that he can high point balls. We've seen that he's one of the smartest players that's in that locker room. We've seen all of these incredible things that he's able to do, but he hasn't been able to stay on the field. And, you go back to the knee injury that happened last year. I mean, that was a non-contact injury. At some point, you've got to think, is he injury prone? And I hope that he's not, because he's got, in my opinion, an incredible career ahead of him because of all those things that I mentioned. And the way that he and Jordan Love can work off of each other can be special. And if the Packers are going to be a true Super Bowl contender, not only this year, but in the next several years to come, I think Christian Watson is going to have to be a huge part of that.
Yeah, I would completely agree. I mean, just the size, the speed, the ability that he has, they need him to be a big part of this, to really kind of fill out their complement of wide receivers. I mean, they've got such a deep group already, but he really does provide that skill set that some of the others really can't. Even though Matthew Golden, he has the ability to kind of take the top off of defense, he has that speed. He doesn't quite have the size that Christian Watson does down the field. So, I mean, that's something where they do need him. And the proof is in the numbers. The proof is in the pudding that when he's out there, they are incredibly explosive. They are a much better offense. Even just the threat of him being out there opens up opportunities for other guys. So, I mean, they need him. They absolutely do. Yeah. Getting him back as quickly as they did was amazing, because when he tore his ACL back in January, back at the end of last season, we all thought that it would be much longer before we saw him actually back out here on the field. We thought it would take several more weeks, but he attacked that rehab aggressively. And to be able to be back out here for week 8, incredibly impressive.
Yeah, and he's their best run blocking wide receiver as well. And we saw that he
smoked some guy on Jacobs' run. Yeah,
he got a touchdown. And, you're talking about players that are special and then making special plays that aren't necessarily their design jobs, right? I mean, I think Tucker Ashcraft, he's here at Wisconsin. Tucker Kraft.
Wouldn't it be funny if Tucker Kraft's middle name was Ash? I'm sorry, go on.
That's why I asked Tucker Ashcraft about that once a couple years ago here on campus. I don't remember his response. Something about, I can't believe it. Really weird. What are the odds?
Great. Next question.
But the ability to catch and run with the ball by Tucker Kraft, I mean, Love's putting him in a position to succeed, but, 130 plus yards after contact yesterday. I mean, like, these guys are special players making special plays. And I'm fired up that Christian Watson is healthy. Like I've said over and over and over again, outside of when they play the Steelers, I'm all in, right? I'm fired up for the success of the Green Bay Packers. So it'd be hypocritical for me to not look at this game now in hindsight and give them flowers where flowers are due. I don't think Josh Jacobs played that well. I think Emmanuel Wilson was a huge aspect of how they were able to turn around.
Well, he might still be hurt
though,
too. Jacobs might still be nursing that sore calf.
Probably. And if what he had said last week, when he said, essentially, don't ever question me, and if I care, if I'm going to be out there, maybe the team does need to push back and say, I'm not questioning you. You're not playing, but I'm not questioning you. You need to be healthy. And maybe that's what they need to do. Sit them down. You got Carolina next week.
Yeah, you got to protect the player from themselves sometimes.
And no, I don't, like I said, nobody's questioning Josh Jacobs. He's going to be an elite part of this team's offense if they have a deep playoff run. Stormy in the 608 writes on the talk and text line, you guys just said that the Packers are a complete team. No, they're not. Their special teams is below average in the NFL. Their special teams is probably ranked in the 20s. Okay, so let's examine this just for a second before we go to a break, and we've got some fired coaches to talk about. Let's examine this for just a second. Their kicking game is right now pretty good. They've got 2 kickers that are really good. Brandon McManus did miss a 57-yard field goal. As he comes back, I think he just needed to knock some rust off, but he's solidified that kicking game. Their punter is one of the better punters in the NFL, and Daniel Whelan. They've got Matt Orzik, and that battery is it's referred to. Rich Bisaccia likes to call it that. Between the long snapper, the holder, and the kicker, very good. They've had some coverage issues, no question. But if that's the issue, if that's the worst part of this team, I'm still going to call them a complete team. They're not perfect. No team in the NFL is perfect. Everybody's got their bugaboo. Everybody's and might be the cornerbacks in Green Bay as well. But I would say that this is as close to a complete team as I've seen in a long time in Green Bay. And I'll stand by that. All right.
I would agree. I think that you look at this group and you just wonder where they have a lack of depth, and it's cornerback, and it's a question where else that would be the issue.
Yeah, and they've got, like I said, some coverage issues as well. All right. Talking text line open to you, 877-794-1973. Thanks to Tim for the phone call. We will take more of your phone calls coming up, more of your texts as well. And we got more segment this hour to go. We've got some fired coaches to talk about because there's another one that's out on the market. Joining James Franklin, Billy Napier, Mike Cundy, among others. And Luke Fickell is not one of them, and it doesn't look like he's going to be one of them. We'll examine that coming up on the other side as well. D.N.D, Doug, Nick, and Dave. Stay with us on this Victory Chicken Monday for the Packers right here on The Game.
I was on this, but now I'm on to that. You see it in my closet before it's on the rack. Was out there in Hawaii, now I'm going back.
Stay tuned.
Yes.
D.N.D will be back in just a moment.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1974.
All the band on the run. Band on the run.
In January of 1974, the top-selling album of the year is released, Paul McCartney and Wings' Band on the Run. Bob Dylan, backed by the band, has his first #1 album with Planet Waves. In February, Jersey City's Kool and the Gang have a top 5 hit with Jungle Boogie. New York City's Kiss released their debut, which sells 75,000 copies without a hit single. In March of 74, Canadian band Rush released their debut album, Get a New Drummer, and go on their first U.S. tour. David Essex has the first of many top 10 hits in the UK and his only U.S. hit with the single Rock On, which goes to number 5. And Steely Dan hit the top 5 with the single Ricky Don't Lose That Number and have a top 10 album too with Pretzel Logic.
Ricky, don't lose that number. It's the only one you want. You might use it if you feel better when you get home.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1974. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1971.
The Doors released their 6th and final studio album, L.A. Woman, while Paul McCartney releases his second solo album, Ram, which goes to #1 UK and #2 US. The album includes several jibes at John Lennon and the #1 single, Uncle Albert Admiral Halsey. In May of 71, soul singer Marvin Gaye releases his concept album What's Going On and has 3 top 10 singles. And Rod Stewart's third solo album goes #1 and has a #1 single, Maggie May.
Maggie, I wish I'd never seen your face.
In July of 71, The Who releases Who's Next. It tops the charts in the UK and goes to #4 in the US.
Teenage wasteland, oh yeah. Teenage wasteland. They're all wasted.
The Allman Brothers released their breakthrough live double album at Fillmore East. And in August, the concert for Bangladesh, organized by George Harrison and Ravi Shankar, is held in New York City. In addition to the organizers, Eric Clapton, Bob Dylan, Badfinger, Leon Russell, and Billy Preston appear.
Feel my guitar gently.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1971. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1971.
February, 4 months after her death, Janis Joplin's album Pearl is released and goes to #1. The single Me and Bobby McGee also tops the chart. Bill Withers hits #3 with the single Ain't No Sunshine from his debut album produced by Booker T. Jones. In March of 71, Carole King releases her first solo album and scores 2 #1 singles, I Feel the Earth Move and It's Too Late. And UK progressive rockers Jethro Tull have a top 10 album on both sides of the Atlantic with Aqualung.
Stop running down his nose. Greasy fingers smearing shabby Hey, Aqualung.
In April, the Temptations topped the charts with Just My Imagination, their third number one, and their 13th top 10 single. Three Dog Night have their second number one single with Joy to the World. And the Rolling Stones album Sticky Fingers is released, including the number one single, Brown Sugar.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1971. Coming up.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Rick Springfield to get some insight on his latest release, Rocket Science.
It's a guitar-based record for sure, and I love big hooks, and it's not a country record at all. It's a rock and roll record, but it does have some country elements.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from Rick Springfield and all your favorite artists.
iHeartRadio soundtrack flashback.
Released late in 1977, Saturday Night Fever soundtrack dominated the charts in 1978. Just imagine shaking your booty on a lighted dance floor to Stayin' Alive by the Bee Gees.
For more great movie soundtrack hits, check out Popcorn Radio on the iHeartRadio app.
Thank you. Next, thank you. Thank you. I'm so grateful for my ex. Thank you.
You go from Johnny Paycheck to Ariana Grande. Very nice.
I already used the Johnny Paycheck one, so I
True.
didn't want to go back to that well again. So thank you. Next.
I would have argued you probably should have gone with this one first because that's what the schools are saying. Thank you. Next.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Next.
That's what it's
Are
gone
they
to.
saying thank you?
I mean,
That's the
$53 million is pretty nice. Thank you.
Yep.
Listen, you can insult me all you want if you're going to give me $53 million to go away.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I saw Andrew Brandt was reporting it, saying that they are now negotiating a buyout terms. That $53 million is due to him over the next 5 years. So lower.
Wow.
So it's going to probably be a lower amount here in the buyout and better repayment terms.
What's the negotiation? If it's in the contract.
Yeah.
Well,
so
you want me fired too late, bud? I mean,
well,
hey.
I think that Brian Kelly would want. I mean, let's say hypothetically he could get $40 million, but he's paid over the next 2 years. We're going to give you $40 million, but 20 a year.
It's like the
next
lump
2 years.
sum if you win the lottery. Do you want to take
Right.
the $500 million now, or you could take $250 million?
Call JG Wentworth.
And I do think that
They got the Vikings saying the opera singer.
Yeah.
It's
That's
my
right.
money
If you
and I
want your
need it
money-
now.
Right.
That's right. Call JG Wentworth. I don't know if we're allowed to do that. I mean, 87. I'm not even going to do the number.
JG Wentworth, I want money for that.
I want
right. So I
Listen.
don't know. And how does it work with a buyout if he takes another job? I mean, does he get offset? I mean, there's
probably
legal
mitigation
jargon that I don't understand.
I'm guessing that if he takes another job, and I don't know what this contract looks like. Some have mitigation on it, and some don't. All that means is if you get paid from somebody else, that takes off of what the previous
That's right.
employer owes you. That's all
That's
that
right.
that means. If I'm Brian Kelly and I'm owed $53 million, I mean, you can negotiate $20 million a year over the next 2 years or whatever it is. I mean, that's worth considering. But if I'm also Brian Kelly, I'm making LSU pay every damn dime.
Yeah. I'm not making it easier on him.
I'm not making it easier on them. I don't. Again, we talked about.
Right. Yeah. You already fired me.
It's in their blood. It's coaching.
If
I
he can
get it.
Let's say hypothetically he can get $30 million today. He just can't coach next year. And then whatever contract he signs with another team is not then offset. Like it's not taking money away from what he would have gotten from LSU.
That's worth considering.
There's ways to come out in front of it, I think, besides the current structure.
But
for
still,
what it's worth,
but
no one's crying for him. No
I think
one
you can
feels
live on
bad
$10
for
million a year, waiting it out.
I
Yeah.
would wonder what the average American worker makes in their entire career in terms of total capital and what
Probably
that
something
number
you
is.
can look up. I'm guessing.
Yeah, something the Google machine.
But
Wikipedia
here's-
might have.
But here's the thing about Brian Kelly. He's not going to get another major Power 4 job. Those days are over. It's not going to happen for a 64-year-old coach who's had swings at it at Notre Dame as well as LSU. It's just not going to happen. It's a young man's sport, and he may get another job if he wants to work at, for example, I'm not saying that these schools have openings, but for example, like a Northern Illinois or Middle Tennessee State or a smaller place like you look like Lane Kiffin. He had to go to Florida Atlantic before he went back and he was a young man, relatively speaking, to the coaching game. Brian Kelly isn't. So whatever school is going to hire him, if he still wants to coach, isn't going to give him a king's ransom salary. So he's still going to wind up getting most of that from LSU. So if he goes to a small school and makes about $1 million or less, which is possible, he doesn't need to make that much money because he's already got the rest of his life and his kids and his grandkids' lives taken care of from Louisiana State.
It's $1.7 million. That's what the average American worker makes in their entire life.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
And for Brian Kelly, I mean, I'd imagine a good landing spot for Brian Kelly too might be the TV booth or a TV studio. Joining one of the shows, either, I don't know, Fox, ESPN. I'm sure he could do TV, probably.
He could. But I'll say this. To your point, Dave, I didn't think Nick Saban was going to be very good on television. He's turned out to be really good.
He's been phenomenal.
Yeah, he's been really good on television. So maybe there's something there. I just, Nick Saban on College Game Day. Yeah. That works.
Yeah.
That works.
Him and Pat McAfee somehow works.
I wouldn't have picked it.
Yeah.
Just wait until they add Belichick.
You never know.
Belichick, Saban, and Brian Kelly.
You never know. But
hang
now
out with McAfee.
So here are the top candidates who are rumored, at least according to Chris Hummer from CBSSports.com. The hot options on board to replace Brian Kelly. The aforementioned Lane Kiffin, now at Ole Miss, but again, he had to take a step back before he took a couple of steps forward. Joe Brady, who's the offensive coordinator of the Buffalo Bills, but who was at one point the 29-year-old offensive coordinator of the 2019 LSU championship team.
Oh, yes.
He's now 36. He's got a half decade of NFL experience, and he is considered to be a rising head coaching candidate in these types of circles. And then there's James Franklin. I mean, if he got run out at Penn State, he's probably going to get run out in Baton Rouge.
Probably.
Because he can't win the big one.
Yeah.
I think he's a great coach.
And the SEC has big ones every single week.
Every single week. And he's been in the SEC before. He was head coach at Vanderbilt. John Summerall, head coach at Tulane. He got hired at Penn State from it. Marcus Freeman, is he going to leave Notre Dame? Is he going to be the second coach to leave Notre Dame? Fat chance. We're at halftime. 2 more hours to go here on D.N.D.
Want to watch D.N.D? They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
I like him even more.
Just search 97.3 The Game.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1970.
Don't keep me waiting here. Lead me to
The Beatles released the Phil Spector-produced album Let It Be. It generates 3 number 1 hits, Get Back, Let It Be, and their final number 1, The Long and Winding Road. The Kinks' song Lola, about a romantic encounter with a transvestite, makes number 2 UK and number 9 US. In July, the Stooges released their second album on Elektra Records, Fun House, and British band Mungo Jerry are number 1 in the UK, number 3 in the US with the single In the Summertime.
Have a drink, have a drive, go out and see what you can find.
In August, Eric Clapton releases his first solo album and scores a top 20 hit with his cover of J.J. Cale's After Midnight. Neil Diamond scores his first number 1 with Cracklin' Rosie. September of 1970, Neil Young has a top 10 album with After the Gold Rush. War, an anti-war protest song by Edwin Starr, tops the charts.
Wow. What is it good for? You tell me. Say it.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1970. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1978.
In January of 1978, the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack is released featuring the music of the Bee Gees. It hits number 1 in the U.S. for more than 6 months. An amazing 18 weeks at number 1 in the UK, it becomes the best-selling soundtrack album of all time. In February of 78, Pasadena, California hard rock band Van Halen released their self-titled debut album. It hits number 19 on the charts. Their cover of The Kinks' You Really Got Me cracks the top 40 at number 36. In March, the Patti Smith Group released their third album, Easter. It goes to number 20. Their single, Because the Night, goes to number 13. It was co-written with Bruce Springsteen. In May of 78, Detroit rock singer Bob Seger releases his 10th album, Stranger in Town. It goes to number 4 in the U.S., yielding 3 top 20 singles, including Still the Same, which also goes to number 4.
Are you still the same?
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1978. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1973.
Boston band Aerosmith released their debut album. It fares poorly. It would be re-released in 76 and yield a top 10 hit, Dream On.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog, right on that.
Elvis Presley's live TV special, Aloha from Hawaii, is watched by more than 1 billion people worldwide and introduces the world to the rhinestone white jumpsuit. In February of 73, Alice Cooper has a #1 album with Billion Dollar Babies, along with 3 top 40 singles. Elton John also has a #1 album and his first #1 single with Crocodile Rock. Paul McCartney and Wings have a #1 single with My Love, and the Stooges signed to Columbia Records and released their final album, Raw Power, produced by David Bowie. In March, Pink Floyd releases the now legendary Dark Side of the Moon. It goes to #1 and becomes one of the best-selling albums of all time.
And everything under the sun is you. The sun is a great spot.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1973. Coming up. iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Elton John to discuss the creative formula when working with Bernie Taupin.
Well, we were a group of musicians and writers, or Bernie and I were writers, and we never wanted to rest on our laurels. We never did. It was all about the next one. Let's see if we can make a musically better album than the next one, take a little bit more risks. You know, all my albums were very different from each other. Elton John was different from Tumbleweed, was just different from Madman, which was different to Honky Chateau. So, you know, we didn't repeat the same formula. We were a group of musicians finding our way and having a joyous experience doing it. And I think the momentum of that and the fact that we did get on well with each other, it just came as a natural progression. And we didn't think about it. I mean, this is instantaneous music. This is not brill building stuff. This is, I sit down, write the song, the band's there, go over the studio, play it, bang.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Elton John and all your favorite artists.
Broadcasting from the all-new Iron Jock Studios, built by Reamer Remodel.
Turn it up!
This is WRNW-FM Milwaukee, 97.3 The Game.
He's a very knowledgeable, very intelligent guy, very personable guy.
Here's Dave Gasper.
Well, the Packers defense has gotten a lot of flack over the season for not getting quite as many turnovers, but they got a couple big ones yesterday.
No. 2nd and 10, Rodgers, quick throw, left side, got his man caught, ball loose on the ground. Packers say they have it. I believe that was Austin on the catch. Ball came loose. Question is, was it a catch? Javon Bullard gathered it in. And it's Green Bay football. And there is your dagger.
You get the fumble recovery and we get the dagger all in one. Just fantastic work. And they thought they had a fumble earlier. Rodgers kind of throws it at the last second, but you do get the fumble there. And that was a huge moment there in the fourth quarter.
There's the one in the end zone. I mean, there were a couple of near miss fumbles as well. What I go back to as far as the Packers defense is the third down efficiency that the Steelers didn't have. They were just 1 for 10 on third down. To me, that's where this game, more than anything else, was won. I mean, I look at a couple of things. I look at penalty. I don't necessarily look at time of possession unless it's just completely out of whack, and it wasn't last night. It was pretty even. But if you look at penalties, Packers 5 penalties for 47 yards. That's a nice bounce back. Steelers 6 for 65. You can live with that as well. But again, you go back to third down efficiency, which is huge. Turnovers, which is huge. So they got the one. The Packers fumbled the ball twice, didn't give up the ball though, and Jordan Love was very efficient and very careful with the ball as well. So they didn't turn the ball over. So they're +1 officially. But Green Bay 5 of 12 for on third downs, just a tick under 50%, 41.7% if you want to do the math. But yeah, Pittsburgh 1 of 10. That was huge for Green Bay.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. And as you mentioned, Doug, Jordan Love, just fantastic. Balling out 29 of 37. 360 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 134.2 passer rating, and his former mentor couldn't be more proud. Outstanding.
It was
how he played. It was absolutely true, and it was great to see. And
the first time that Aaron Rodgers played against Brett Favre got the better of it because the Vikings won that game. Now the Packers came back around and won that second game, but I think this was important. This was important for Jordan Love. It was, I think, important for Packers fans. And there's been some revisionist history, as there always is. I mean, this is the third year that he's been away, and this is the third year that Jordan's been the starting quarterback in Green Bay. And time heals all wounds. I think that there's a softness around Aaron Rodgers that maybe we didn't see a couple of years ago when things had kind of spiraled out of control and there was some bad blood. And I know that I've gone back to that Brett Favre just waving to the crowd and 60,000 people showed up. I think we could see the same thing at some point sooner rather than later for Aaron Rodgers. I don't know how long he wants to play.
Yeah.
He's still looking like he can still play beyond this year if he chooses to. But I think there were a lot of fans who were happy to see him last night, but also happy to beat him last night too.
What do we call the Rodgers off season? Like it was tractor watch with Brett. Is it darkness watch?
I called it the beautiful mystery tour.
Yeah. Well, I think we're gonna have another one of them.
Yeah, I think we might have, but it's not our problem anymore.
It's mine.
It's yours. It's the beautiful
problem.
mystery tour.
Good luck, Nick.
Right.
Because that's what he called the off-season ones. He called
right. It's a beautiful mystery.
It's a beautiful
What'll
mystery.
happen?
Well, it's never a mystery with the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know exactly what you're getting. You're getting a slightly above average team, and that's
going to be
annual.
at least 500.
That's annual, right? And I fact checked 2003 was the last time they had a losing record. They go ahead, they draft Big Ben that next draft, and then they go forward as a winning football team, or at worst a 500 team. I look at last night's game, and as you highlighted, Doug, if they get behind the sticks, there isn't a first down possibility for them. They don't throw the ball down the field. They have one wide receiver, and it's DK Metcalf. Steelers have a very unique play style and way that they need to win. It's what it looked like in the first half. It's not at all what it looked like in the second half. Also, Deshaun Elliott getting hurt on that huge catch by Tucker Kraft. That was a game changer because the Steelers secondary was dog blank after that.
Yeah, definitely tough for Pittsburgh to rebound after that. And also going to be tough for the Buffalo Bills. Sorry to Shanna Quinn, as they fear Ed Oliver tore his biceps yesterday.
Right. Ouch. That's painful.
Yeah, that can't be fun. And if that's a fully torn biceps, I mean, that's 6 months. I mean, he is done for the season.
Probably done for the year. They've been without him recently a good amount. Their defense isn't particularly great. So, it's going to be
losing Ed Oliver
old.
does not help.
No, it does not. But it's going to be kind of same old with them. I mean, they go as Josh Allen goes. He's got to be uber elite. And in this past weekend, he didn't have to do that much against Carolina yesterday because James Cook had like 216 rushing yards, I believe, and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, he was cooking.
Yeah,
for sure.
Let James cook.
Let James cook. Let
Sir James cook. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sir James.
You're good.
Yeah, and then also rounding out the NFL news, some tough news yesterday that came out. Former Jets center Nick Mangold passed away at the age of 41 due to chronic kidney disease. A couple of weeks ago, we saw he was asking for a donor, and appears did not get one.
Yeah, that's tough because by the time you're begging for a kidney, sometimes
It's
not
too
always.
late.
Yeah, I mean, because there are other channels to go through. A friend of mine, actually my sister-in-law and a very close friend of mine are both kidney donors.
That's nice.
And my one of my dearest friends that she donated her kidney to save her mother-in-law's life.
Oh wow!
And they're both doing great now.
Yeah,
I mean, this is
that's good.
Three years
Imagine
ago
a
or so.
divorce after that. I'm not
Yeah,
putting it on
that's-
them, but I'm like, I mean, like I donated a kidney to your mom.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
this isn't working out anymore. we have irreconcilable.
She'll always have
differences.
that on him.
Give
Yeah.
me my kidney back.
I don't,
Yeah. Well, and also, I mean, some people.
Spoiler alert, you ain't getting it back.
Yeah, some people's relationships with their mother-in-laws, cannot be the best. But that one, it's like, hey,
listen,
I gave you a kidney.
Right.
So how about you cut me some slack on how this dinner tastes?
It's
okay.
It's a cool family. It's an awesome story, and they're all some of my favorite people in the world. So
Tragic passing for sure for Nick Mangold.
Yeah, it's awful.
It's crazy because you just think that these guys, just with their connections and certainly with the money they've made in their careers, that they might be kind of above average everyday issues. And clearly in this case, he wasn't. And it's just it's a shame for anyone to pass that young, no matter.
Yeah, 41, just
Yeah.
terrible. And then you have Rex Ryan being put on TV and like, hey, Rex Ryan, let's get your initial thoughts on this. Like, I mean, that poor guy was,
yeah, he's
she was
crier
trying
for
to make
sure.
it through it. Yeah, I mean, that's
Well,
not easy.
It goes to kind of what Aaron was saying after the game a little bit in this sense that the relationships that you form when you work together so closely for such a long period of time. I mean, oftentimes you spend more time with your teammates and your support staff in professional athletics than you do your own family. You travel with them, you go to the ends of the earth with them, you practice with them every day of the week. Yeah, I mean, that it can be like losing a family member if you're someone who's exceptionally close to a player in Rex Ryan's case or, another teammate. I mean, these guys, they talk about the camaraderie, they talk about the brotherhood, but it's something that's real. It's something that lasts a lifetime if you're doing it right. And, even when Jordan Love was, or when Aaron Rodgers was asked about, did he talk to a lot of the players that are on the Packers? And it's like, well, Jordan was in the same room with me and I played with Rashawn Gary for a few years. And, there's some other guys that, some of the receivers, they were rookies. I didn't necessarily get to know them all that well, but he was talking about the support staff. He was talking about, Brian Engel. He was talking about, the equipment guys, the Pepper Burrises, for example, of the world. I mean, he was talking about the nutritionists that you spend every day with for 18 years. And that's where those bonds are formed. And, to see Rex Ryan have a very human moment on national television, you really kind of felt it. But my God, no one should die at 41.
Yeah.
I'm just awful. So prayers and family to his Jets, to his family, his close friends, his Jets family, and his Ohio State family. Just awful stuff.
Yeah.
And
All right, and on that note,
on that
Dave,
note, you got something positive here at the end. Is there anything?
you got
positive?
something fun. You got a kicker at the end
palate
after
cleanser, please.
World Series Game 3 tonight. Got baseball. Max
there you
Scherzer
go.
versus Tyler Glasnow.
Okay, we'll take that.
Yeah.
What a guy.
Yeah, and then tonight we got Monday Night Football, Commanders and Chiefs.
Okay.
So that's gonna be a good game.
Yeah,
excited for that.
There has been a trade in the NFL. The Rams have acquired
Oh.
Titans cornerback Roger McCreary. It's the
okay.
first trade in 19 days in the league, according to Tom Pelissero, who feels like it's been really quiet. We got 8 days, I believe, until the deadline.
November 4th.
A 5th, 6th round pick swap. So
There we go.
There you go. The Tennessee Titans making moves.
Dickie V from West Dallas. Please LSU lure. Please LSU lure Luke Fickell.
Nah.
Oh yeah. Doug, you and I were talking about that a little bit yesterday. It's like,
oh
yeah.
I mean, there's going to be an entire city that would help him pack.
Yeah.
And listen, I mean, you look at all the stupid buyouts, and some of there's going to come a tipping point in college athletics. I don't know that it's smart to make all of these firings. I don't know that it was smart to fire Brian Kelly because I don't know who's coming in next.
Yeah.
I don't know that it was smart to fire James Franklin because he's had a lot of success and you don't know what's coming in next. I don't know that it was smart necessarily in the middle of the season to fire Mike Gundy because this is a guy who spent an entire lifetime as an Oklahoma State Cowboy, whether it was his playing days as a quarterback, as an assistant coach, as the head coach for the last 20 years. At one point, he was a man. He was 40, and now he's in his 50s, and he's looking around saying, I've spent my whole life in Stillwater. Now what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Do I really want to continue to move around like every other coach does? Now, we're reading some of the potential replacements for Brian Kelly at LSU, and it's going to attract someone. I think Joe Brady is probably, if I had to pick one, that might be the most likely coach, but
probably the best suited.
And I don't know if the Bills are going to let him out of his contract before their season is over. He's the offensive coordinator of one of the best teams in the NFL.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that means he's going to be playing and coaching still well into January when it's like, okay, you got the transfer portal that's ongoing at that point because they've pushed that back at least to like beginning mid-January. So at least they've done that. The first good thing the NCAA has done in a very long time. Yeah. But still, if he's playing into, AFC Championship game weekend, something like that, like it's going to be a while before he's even available. Yeah. And LSU can't really afford to wait that long.
If the Bills go to the Super Bowl, he's not available until mid-February.
That's right. Yeah. And I don't think honest to God, guys, I don't think he's going to make the leap back to the college level. I think he's been trying to chart his course at the NFL level. I think he's been one of those buzz names for a while in the head coaching hiring cycle annually. Hasn't stuck anywhere, but it doesn't make much sense. I mean, there's a reason why I think he left the college game to move up to the NFL level. I don't know if his aspirations are to go back, but there is the connection there, Doug, nonetheless. There are going to be a lot of candidates as the seasons play out and we see whose season comes to a close. I mean, Georgia Tech's undefeated right now. Is that a program where you could watch their head coach make the leap and do a Power 2 conference, in my opinion, the SEC, and leave the ACC behind? It's a lot of guys, they'll be at the end of their seasons, win a bowl game or come close. Kurt Cignetti, I think, is locked up. I mean, major deal he just signed.
I don't know what his contract was. Who was I talking to this with? I don't know if it was you, Dave, last night during the Packers. I don't know what his out is in his contract. If he doesn't have anything that precludes him from taking another job. But these contracts, I mean, with all of the buyouts that are going on, if I'm Indiana and I want to lock down Kurt Cignetti, I don't give him any outs. But then again, you might need to give him an out. Otherwise, he wouldn't sign the contract.
So Kurt Cignetti's contract, 8 years, $93 million, with a buyout of $15 million if he leaves for another job before November 30th, 2026.
That's it?
He would owe them. He would owe them that.
No, he would owe that, but his next school would pay it.
Yeah. So if he leaves, buyouts $15 million, the amount decreases in the following years. So if he leaves in 2027, it's $12 million, then down to $9 million in 2028, then $6 million in 2029, $4 million in 2030.
In today's, I suppose that's public because he's a public employee.
Yes.
At Indiana University. Okay, that makes sense. In today's college football landscape, with all of the stupid money that's being thrown around, that's a drop in the bucket. And it's not like he would pay it out. It would be his next employer. Yeah. And LSU's like, okay, we just paid $53 million for a guy to not coach us.
He has so many incentives in here. $100,000 for reaching a fifth Big Ten win annually, $250,000 for a top 6 finish in the Big Ten, $500,000 for a top 2, $1 million for winning the Big Ten. But there are also lifestyle perks tied to the contract. Unlimited access to the local golf course and driving range for his family.
Well done, Kurt. Well done.
He's got meals provided at the athletic dining facility. $10,000 Adidas budget per year. What? Good for him.
Jeez.
He can be swagged out swagged out in Adidas gear.
Okay. I think they already do that, but okay.
25,000 courtesy car and 8 season tickets, 3 parking passes, 25 single game tickets for home games.
Yeah, I would think.
I get a lifetime pass to the golf course.
Yeah. Like I said,
hey, you find a good golf course.
It's like at some point, it's like we agree on the money. What else do you want? You want a plane? I mean, that's what Lincoln Riley got at USC. He got unlimited use of a plane.
Yeah.
I mean, whether
and
it's for
he used
recruiting,
it to fly from Oklahoma to USC.
He did. But if he wants to take that in the offseason to Bali for a weekend, he can. If he wants to take it on a recruiting trip, he can. If he wants to, fly 9 hours to Hawaii or, 12 hours to Italy, he can.
Barstool employee named T-Bob Hebert. He was an LSU football player, so he has connections. He said yesterday, just heard Brian Kelly carded over 400 rounds at the local country club in his 4 years.
Maybe he should have been recruiting in that time anyway.
Average score of 95. I mean, that's not that bad, but for a guy
not
who plays
that great.
100 rounds a
Yeah,
year.
for a guy playing that many rounds, you'd think it'd be better.
Yeah. Did he
What a life
cheat?
this
Did he
guy
cheat
has
on
lived.
golf though?
Probably.
Yeah, probably. Dickie V from West Dallas says this is the bed that college sports has made. Lay in it. Yeah, he's not wrong.
Yeah, no, not wrong at all.
You're not wrong at all. And when I say that there's a tipping point, I mean, if you're like a guy like Mark Cuban, and that's what professional sports is right now. We've seen that at some point, there's just going to be not enough money to go around to meet all of the demands. And there's only going to be a couple of programs, teams, franchises, whether it's professional athletics or college athletics, that are even going to be able to sustain themselves as a legitimate contender. You've got the haves. It's like the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. I mean, every single day. And sports
like
is a
Major League Baseball.
Well, it's a microcosm. Sports is a microcosm of life. And, you see the wealth gap from, the middle class is being squeezed out. And we're seeing that in college sports now, too, because you've got a couple of donors who are willing to pay somebody $53 million to not play. And in the NBA, you've got Bucks owners who are willing to pay Damian Lillard $125 million spread out over 5 years, but still $125 million to not play for them anymore because they need to keep things under the salary cap and they don't want to go into the luxury tax, but they'll still pay this guy for not working and that guy for not working. And you fire Adrian Griffin 30 games into his NBA head coaching career, but he's still on the books for 3 years. I mean, it's just bonkers what's going on. And continually, who's getting squeezed out? The guys who really, and the families who really want to come in and be a part of, big time professional and big time collegiate athletics. And that's the part that I kind of get concerned about. It's like you're going to raise a generation of kids who don't give a crap about their teams. And we're starting to see it. We're starting to, with all the empty seats that you're seeing in college football stadiums right now, because these kids are not being captured by spirit of the school and wanting to be part of any kind of tradition, unless you are Ohio State, LSU, Notre Dame, these big behemoth schools. But everybody else, I mean, you look at Camp Randall Stadium, they struggle. I mean, I know the team isn't very good right now, but they struggle to get their fans in the stands right now. And I don't know what it's going to look like next year. It's going to be, if I had to guess, it's probably going to be far worse next year than it was this year. Yeah. And it's not going to get better.
And didn't they struggle too before filling the student section, even when they were good, trying to get everyone in there on time? No, I mean, Nick, you can probably attest to it a little bit more than I can. Like the struggles trying to get everyone in the gates, traffic flow, and trying to get everyone in there, especially for 11 o'clock kicks.
Yeah, no, it's a challenge to get those people in the stadium because I just think that the infrastructure. Camp Randall's a very old stadium, and they've picked one unique way to get a set of
they got to fix that
20,000 people in, and I don't know if it's fixable. Right? It's just, you'd think it would have been fixed if it was fixable. Everyone comes in single file.
Yeah, that's a problem.
There's 4 lanes, and it's single file, one at a time. Upon entering, you have to wait, get a ticket. And then wait for your friends while they all get one individual handheld ticket.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got to walk to your individual section, up single file line, up the stairs in a narrow concourse. And to speak to the concourse I was at Morgan Wallen this summer with my girlfriend. It started raining, lightning. They had to kind of put everything on hold, had everyone evacuate to the concourse. and we couldn't fit. They couldn't fit everyone in the concourse. So there was 20,000 people who were still just standing out in the rain in the lightning because they were at capacity in the concourse. It's just it's an old stadium, and it's built for a smaller populace.
Yeah. And you say that if it could have been fixed, it would have been fixed by now. My answer to that is fix it. I mean, there's always a way to fix it. There's always a way to fix it. But they have chosen to not, for whatever reason, fix it. It's like the whole beer thing at Camp Randall Stadium. For years, it was like, well, we can't sell beer at Camp Randall Stadium. Why not? I don't know.
Because we don't.
Just do it. I mean,
they start selling beer and the team turns to crap, Doug. I don't know, man. There's a correlation there.
I don't know if there's a correlation there.
They haven't won at home in over a year.
No, I know.
Selling beer. The rowdy fans now boozed up.
I just don't buy there's no way to fix it. I think it's a cop-out. It just is.
Didn't they do some like modernizations or something this offseason to the stadium?
And I'm not just saying at Camp Randall Stadium. I'm not just saying the University of Wisconsin. I'm saying this is true in all facets of life. If something is broken, fix it. Don't tell me that it can't be fixed. If it can't be fixed, then why are we even doing it? If it can't be fixed, then don't bother. If it can't be fixed, don't have a student section. Fix it. What's the problem?
I think, and I don't know, I can't speak to it, right? I mean, there have been countless renovations to the stadium. You can see as we enter, where the students enter as well, where the old exterior of the stadium used to exist. They've built outward, right? So now you got that added gate to walk through. It's just poorly built. The stadium as a whole in what we're trying to accomplish. I hope there's a fix, Doug. But I'm not going to spend my life waiting for it. I'm just going to be surprised if it happens.
Don't hold your breath.
That's right.
Red Hot Tim Knott writes on the NicoletLaw.com talking text like, come on, Doug. iHeart doesn't let you use the company plane whenever. Oh, Tim.
Oh, Tim.
Oh, Tim.
That was taken in the bankruptcy.
On that note, we still have some Matt LaFleur audio that we want to play from you from last night's win as the Packers beat the Pittsburgh Steelers at Acrisure Stadium, formerly Heinz Field, 35-25. And I also want to hear from Luke Fickell because he just seems like he's getting more and more exasperated, more and more frustrated. And I know that Badgers fans right there are alongside with him because this is a program that's really struggling right now. And it goes beyond not getting the students in the student section. And I still believe there's a way to fix that, but they just haven't done it yet. But how do you get this football team back on the right track? I'm not sure that it's firing everyone. I'm not sure that it's not, though, either. So they've got to dig themselves out of a big hole. And we'll hear from a frustrated Luke Fickell coming up a little bit later on in the program as well. It's D.N.D, Doug, Nick, and Dave here on this for the Packers Victory Chicken Monday, October 27th. Stay with us on the game.
Want to watch D.N.D? They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
There you go.
There we go.
Just search 97.3 The Game.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top Pat Benatar songs that you've thumbed up. Number 3, Love is a Battlefield. Number 2, We Belong. Number 1, Hit Me With Your Best Shot.
Hit me with your best shot. Why don't you hit me with your best shot? Hit me with your best shot. Fire away.
Hear more from Pat Benatar and similar artists now. Search for Pat Benatar on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
Now, a year in rock spotlight. 1973.
Ain't it time we said goodbye?
The Rolling Stones are back on top with the number one album in the U.S. and the U.K. and a number one single, Angie.
Come on, baby.
Let's Get It On is a number one single and a number 2 album for Marvin Gaye. Also in August of 73, Stevie Wonder is back with the number 4 album, Inner Visions. And Florida band Leonard Skinner released their debut album, have a top 20 hit with Freebird, and tour opening for The Who.
Won't you fly?
Fast forward to October, where on their 8th album, the Steve Miller Band debut a smooth blues rock sound and score a number 1 hit with The Joker.
I'm a joker, I'm a smoker, I'm a midnight toker. I sure don't want to hurt no one.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1973. Coming up.
Here are the top Fleetwood Mac songs that you've thumbed up. Number 3, Don't Stop.
Don't stop thinking about tomorrow. Don't stop using me. It'll be better than before. Yesterday's gone. Yesterday's gone.
Number 2, Dreams. Number 1, Go Your Own Way.
You can go your own way. Go your own way. You can call it another day.
Hear more from Fleetwood Mac and similar artists now. Search for Fleetwood Mac on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
Now, a year in rock spotlight from 1977.
In February of 77, 60s band leader Manfred Mann has a new band and scores a U.S. number 1 hit with a cover of Bruce Springsteen's song Blinded by the Light. In March, Foreigner released their debut album. It goes to number 4 in the U.S., driven by 2 top 10 singles, Cold as Ice and Feels Like the First Time. Philadelphia blue-eyed soul duo Hall & Oates have their first U.S. number 1 with Rich Girl from their 5th album, Bigger Than the Both of Us. Fleetwood Mac's album Rumors is released. It's their 2nd number 1 album in a row in the U.S., dominating the charts at number 1 for 31 weeks. It spawns 4 top 10 singles, including the number 1, Dreams.
When the rain washes you clean, you know.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1977. Coming up.
First time that I met her, she was pouring shots of rum. Told me that her cousin just turned 21. She took my hand and said,
Sometimes I don't know where Dave is going with the music that he selects for the
this song's a
program.
little slower than I thought it was going to be.
They said cousin in there.
Well, I could make a crack about country music, but I shan't.
Come on.
Yeah, I don't think that's what it was about. But anyway,
That's a stereotype that we do not play into.
No.
Jim and Oshkosh, this is a private message back from Jim and Oshkosh on the talk and text line. Yeah, you and me both, my friend. I'm not going to read the text on the air, but yeah, I'm right there with him. Anyway, Dave, you were at your cousin's wedding over the weekend.
I was because they scheduled a wedding in late October, which, you know, there are other issues that we have there. But it's college football season. Like what are we doing, guys? But so I had my cousin's wedding over the weekend. Congratulations to Hannah and Matt. Happy couple. Well done. Happy for you.
Yay, Hannah and Matt.
Yay. So yeah, so we're out there. We're at this, beautiful, wedding barn, and it's just
barn.
Yeah, wedding barns out on this tree farm out in Lake Grafton. Really nice spot, really beautiful spot
for an October wedding.
For an October, yeah, and the venue did not have heat.
So that was going to be my next question.
Yeah, the venue did not have heat, so that was another frustrating part of it.
That's a choice.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's a little chilly, but when they had it all closed up and everyone's in there and the dance floor is going.
Heaters? Did it ever warm up?
It warmed up like once we kind of buttoned it up and everyone's inside.
Moving along
on the dance floor. Yeah, it was good. They had some.
Did they do the Macarena chicken dance?
We did not do the Macarena
chicken dance.
Dang.
No chicken dance.
Oh, he's getting all verklempt
choked
because
up.
I mean
He's getting choked
everybody
up
wants to do the chicken dance when they're at the at a wedding. I mean, I get it. I mean, weddings are happy occasions, and Dave's getting all getting all teary on it. So I know it was a family wedding. So
it was a family wedding.
Okay.
No, we played Sweet Caroline. Everyone's kind of all just in a big circle. Arms around, doing a little kick line.
Was there anyone named Caroline there?
I'm not sure. I don't think so. I mean, there were a bunch of people
I would
from
think
his side of the family. I didn't know. But anyway, so we're having fun at the wedding, and you guys know me. I'm kind of the life of the dance floor out there. Because,
really?
Oh, absolutely.
I didn't know if I knew that.
You didn't know that?
Well, how would we know that?
Yeah, you guys know
you guys
me.
can't see it. You can't imagine it. You can't imagine
the life
6
of the
foot 8.
dance floor.
You're the
you
life.
got a 10-foot circle around you because you're 6'8". I mean, I
do pretty much. So, but yeah, so basically, we're having fun out there on the dance floor, and so my song comes on, so it's like, okay, we're going through, and the DJ starts playing this. This is Low by Flo Rida. All right. So me being who I am, I'm obviously in the middle of the dance circle at this point, and I'm dropping it low.
Oh.
And then
when you drop it low, I mean, because again, 6'8".
Yeah. So it's like legit dropping it low and then dropping it lower. And then I dropped it too low and I ripped my pants. Straight down the seam, all the way down. I felt the pop. It's like an athlete when a bone breaks, like you feel the pop, you feel it go, and I felt a breeze, and it was bad. It was down to like mid thigh.
Oh,
strip. I mean, been carrying a little extra junk in the trunk lately, as one does. Yeah, apparently, clearly, my pants are telling me that.
I guess so.
Just because I ripped my pants.
When Big Larry came around just to put him
That
down.
was all I could think of.
Turned into a clown.
Yeah, it was exactly that. I'm out on the dance floor in the middle of it, ripped my pants. It was the exact same sound.
I don't suppose you had a spare set of trousers.
I did not have a spare set of pants, sadly. I probably should have, but
so what did you do?
Yeah, so how did we
I just kind of
calmly,
I'm just like, okay, Stan, I'm like,
is there like a Target or a Walmart nearby that you can go and get some pants?
To the wall. I kind of moved off the dance floor.
From the windows to the walls.
From the windows to the walls.
Right.
Yeah, watching the straight here. My sister took a picture of the pants just completely all the way to
see a little bit of something there. I'm sorry that happened.
Yeah,
I mean, your whole family's gonna find out whether or not your college nickname is true.
So you should
BDD.
Oh, come on. You should just rip them clean off.
That's
leaned into
more
it.
than I think they bargained for at a family wedding.
You would go.
Well, it's a good thing that the underwear didn't tear as well. I mean, then
I don't know what all tore. Who's to say?
Sure. Yeah, well, I mean, thankfully I wasn't going commando. But
as one usually does at a wedding.
Right.
Yeah,
at
totally.
A family wedding.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, thankfully wasn't doing that. But then kind of left about, I don't know, half hour or so later. I'm just like, I'm just gonna kind of chill over here in the corner, make sure no one's behind me, just kind of the wall.
So how
the
long
bag.
did you stay at said wedding then? Because I mean, at some point you're going to have to use the restroom. At some point you might want to drink. At some point,
I had several. Don't worry about
well, maybe
that.
that's how the pants got ripped in the first place.
Maybe.
Possible.
It's
At
very
least you didn't
possible.
tear your scrotum like Andy in The Office. I mean, that could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
That would have been a lot worse. See, I did not get that low. I was not trying to do the
That's
splits.
good.
I do know my limits.
Do you?
on
Well,
that.
your pants don't.
I found them now, but yeah, I know
that
the splits
BBL
are
is
certainly
suiting you
past
well.
it. Yeah, it is. Yeah,
so all right,
yeah,
so-
so I ripped my pants. That was my.
I've ripped
weekend.
my pants before.
Okay,
Doug,
well,
have you ever ripped
story
a pair
time,
of pants?
Doug.
Probably.
Yeah, story time, Nick.
Yeah,
It was honest. Abby and I were at Carol a few years ago. For whatever reason, I sat down at a restaurant. It tore my pants. My jeans were just too tight, I guess. They popped the
Skinny jeans?
quad area. Just normal jeans, but they were pretty old. I think probably 15 years old. I'm a hand-me-down guy. I got older
Okay.
brothers, so
sure.
the quad area popped on the inner thigh, and later it
Whoa.
kind of turned into like a Magic Mike type tear them clean off my body moment. Because what else are you gonna do if they're torn? You know what I mean?
And now we know how he landed his girlfriend.
Yeah, there we
Yeah,
go.
that's right.
That's the story.
Well done.
Well done. Smooth, Nick. I mean,
Thank you.
that's quite the game you got over there.
What he's leaving out is that was the first time we met, and we're still together today.
That's
Yeah.
right. No, it was pretty early in our relationship too. That's when I knew she was a keeper. But Doug, you haven't torn a pair of pants before? I mean, come on. I think it's kind of like a rite of passage.
I don't know. I probably have. I don't have any. Not at a wedding that I'm aware of. That
I was just 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I was water skiing and my swim trunks tore off my body.
That's a better story.
What? Why did you lead with that?
Because those are shorts, not pants. I mean, we're talking about tearing pants. I've torn my. I was water
Were you
skiing
naked
with
to the
some
world
friends
like
here.
Uncle Baby Billy on Righteous Gemstones when he was when he was water skiing? Naked as the day he was born.
He's never
Thankfully,
seen
I
that.
was not. I have. I've seen every episode. It's a
So
great
you know,
show.
so you know about Uncle Baby
Yeah.
Billy, then water skiing
Yeah, no
naked
doubt.
with his junk hanging out, for the whole world to see.
It was not that case. Thankfully, I was wearing underwear.
Okay.
But I
Okay.
was with some friends. They were trying
If
to
you've ever
teach
gone
me
water
to
skiing
water
naked,
ski.
hit us up on the talk. No, I'm
I
kidding.
tried to water ski. I could not get it to work. And at one point I fell off, tore my swim trunks. Then I had to get off the boat later and interact with multiple people. This was at Memorial Union. So I had to climb off the boat with my torn shorts, walk across the pier with hundreds and hundreds of people there. One of which was Hallie Douglas of the Wisconsin women's basketball team that called me by name. Hey, Nick. Oh, hey, Hallie.
That's a
sorry.
great impression, by the way.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
somebody,
They all sound
in my dorm room one time, freshman year, somebody, as a prank, took everything while I was in the shower.
Oh, nice.
So,
Yeah.
my room was on the end of the hall.
Yes.
Same.
So
I had that happen. I had a towel fall down once.
I had no towel. I'm just like, you know what? No shame in this game. Let's just go.
Yeah. There you go. And off
Whatever.
you went. Yeah.
Off I went, That was a long time ago. That was
Yeah.
back in the
Happens.
90s. It was back in the 90s when people were still streaking in the 90s occasionally.
Yeah.
Once in a
Especially at
while.
Oshkosh.
Especially at Oshkosh.
Yeah.
I may not have been sober at the time. It's possible.
It's entirely
That
possible.
helps.
Yeah. That sounds
It
about
probably
right.
helped Dave too.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
I
I
was
rem-
fully sober in both cases, unfortunately.
Yeah, I was not on Saturday night.
Dan in West Bend,
Yeah.
someone's had too many bowls of Armin's delicious chili. That's why you got a little,
Yikes.
Yeah.
that's why you got a little junk
That
in the trunk.
might
perhaps.
be part of it. Yeah. Yeah. Just too much of a
Brutal.
unremarkable chili.
So
From
here's Wayne in Nash Vegas who writes, Dave, if you were 6'7", not 6'8", that
Come
would've-
on.
That wouldn't have happened.
Okay, so
Come on.
This-
He's hitting
this-
you with the 6'7" right now.
okay, I'm gonna plead old guy in the room.
Yeah.
What the
Yeah.
actual bleep is this?
No
What
one-
what
I-
is this?
I don't even
Doug,
understand.
I'm with you, and
'Cause
I know it's a thing. I don't know why it's a thing. I don't know where it started. I don't know what it means. It's like they're trying to talk to me. I just know.
All right.
These
Yeah,
All right. Nick, please, Gen Zer of the group, please explain.
Well, I'm on
and this
it
is
right
almost
now
this
trying
is
to
like a
figure
Gen
out.
Alpha thing though too. This is And Rashawn Gary's playing into it, doing that. And Billy knew what it was because he's up with the youths. And I'm like, I don't know what.
So Mike Tirico knew what it was.
Everyone knows what it is, that it's a thing, but they don't know what the thing comes from. Apparently, it originates from a Skrilla song and lyrics in it, 6'7". So it is what it is. It exists, 6'7". And I was going to challenge Nick Osen on it earlier because he posted his article, his post-game thoughts, quick hits on Oregon, Wisconsin, and he put in there the Badgers front 6'7", 6/7. I was gonna be like, are you kidding me right now? You threw that in there, 6'7". It means nothing, but it means everything to kids these days. Sean Preble, our friend here at the Madison complex, his son Madsen is 13, and he said, do not, because it's all he's been hearing recently. Skibbity, 6'7", Riz, Sigma. I mean, they all use these words.
They don't make any sense.
If there's an etymology to it that makes sense, like Riz is short for charisma. My niece taught me that.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
I get that because it's something, it means something, and you understand where it came from. This Skibbity, no clue.
Yeah.
No idea. 6'7".
It sounds like something Steve Zabin would say.
Sigma.
Skibbity.
Sigma's a sorority.
Yeah.
Clueless.
It's a Greek letter.
Yeah. I mean, if it makes some sort of sense, you can draw a line.
Yeah. And CNN's reporting on it. All these different things are reporting on it, and just to name someone who's been affected, Gabe Dannenbring, a 7th grade science teacher in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, says, quote, it's like a plague, a virus that has taken over these kids' minds. It doesn't mean anything. South Park just did an entire episode with it.
That's where I saw it.
It's everywhere right now.
Yeah, it's ripe for South Park.
It's perfect for South Park.
Yeah.
They've been trying to fill, I think, recently.
Yeah. Oily Phil says, my new nickname is Dave the Ripper.
That's funny.
That's genius.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's good.
Mike Vermel writes, always have a duffel bag with a pair of sweats, a hoodie, boxers, and extra shoes and socks in your car or trunk. One never knows. You
never know.
Good advice.
Yeah, that is good advice. I did have a different pair of shoes. I had a pair of tennis shoes to change out of the dress shoes because those can get uncomfortable after a while.
There's always a change of clothes in my office. Always.
Yeah.
Just in case. You never know.
Never know.
So you never know if I'm going to have to go out and cover a press conference or go wherever. I always have a pair of a change of clothes in my office.
There we go.
Genius.
Okay, that's
so
smart.
That's always been the way.
That's a pro move right there.
877-794-1973. It's Doug, Nick, and Dave here on the game, the NicoletLaw.com. Talk and text line is open to you. If you've got any embarrassing stories about ripping your clothing during a family wedding, love to hear it.
Would love it.
We've also got
please tell me I'm not alone.
Yeah, just let Dave feel a little bit better about himself. We want to hear from Luke Fickle because he just seems like he's getting more and more despondent. That's coming up. We've got Bruiser's Bites coming up. Would like to hear from Matt LaFleur as well, Packers head coach. He will have a news conference this afternoon at 3:00 before they start their week of preparation for the Carolina Panthers, who got pounded yesterday. They're 4-4, but they're coming to Green Bay to take on the Packers. A noon kickoff on Sunday on the Packers radio network. Stay with us. Doug, Nick, and Dave, D.N.D. on the game.
That's what I told her, her legs on my shoulder. I knew it was over. That Henny and Cola got me like a soldier. She ready for Rover. I couldn't control her. So lucky on me, I was just like a clover. Shorty was hot like a toaster. Sorry, but I had to.
You are listening to D.N.D. with Doug, Nick, and Dave.
This pains me to say this, but Dave's right.
Hey, why does that pain you to say? I'm right quite a bit, I think.
Middays here on the game.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1968.
Born to be wild.
In January of 1968, Steppenwolf released their debut album, including the single Born to be Wild, which charts at number 2 in the U.S. Johnny Cash records 2 live shows at California's Folsom Prison, along with June Carter and Carl Perkins. Also in January, the Beatles are number 1 with Hello Goodbye. In London, they launched their own company, Applecore, with a store, a recording studio, and record label. February of 68, Pink Floyd lead singer Syd Barrett is checked into a psychiatric hospital and the band replaces him with David Gilmour. The Beatles, Donovan, Mia Farrow, and others travel to India to study transcendental meditation with Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. And Bill Graham opens the Fillmore East concert venue in an abandoned New York City theater. April of 1968, the musical Hair opens on Broadway for the first of 1,750 performances. It would spawn several top 40 hits, including Aquarius, Good Morning Starshine, and Hair. Simon and Garfunkel released their album Bookends, which goes to #1 in the US and the UK. The single Mrs. Robinson would go to #1 in June, thanks to the movie The Graduate.
God bless you, please, Mrs. Robinson. Heaven holds a place for those who pray. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1968, coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1969.
In May of 69, Neil Young releases his first album with Crazy Horse, Everyone Knows This Is Nowhere, featuring the songs Cinnamon Girl and Down by the River. The Who released a double concept album, Tommy, which goes top 10 in the US and the UK.
Even on my favorite table, he can't beat my best. His disciples needed him, and he just does the rest. He's not crazy, flipping fingers, never seen him fall. That gift of a blind kid sure plays a mean pinball.
David Bowie's single Space Oddity, released to coincide with the Apollo 11 moon landing, reaches #5 in the UK. Also in July, Bob Dylan has a top 10 hit with Lay Lady Lay in his new, deeper-sounding vocal style, which he attributes to quitting smoking.
Whatever colors you have in your mind, I'll show them to you, and you'll see them shine. Lay, lady, lay, lay across my big brass bed.
Blood, Sweat, and Tears have a #2 hit with Spinning Wheel, popularizing the so-called brass rock movement that includes BST, Chicago, and Electric Flag.
Drop all your troubles by the riverside. Catch a painted pony on the spinning wheel ride.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1969, coming up.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top Hall & Oates songs that you've thumbed up. Number 3, Kiss on My List.
Because your kiss is on my list. Because your kiss is on my list. The best things in life.
Number 2, You Make My Dreams. Number 1, Man Eater.
Oh, here she comes. Watch out, boy, she'll chew you up. Oh, here she comes. She's a man eater.
Hear more from Hall & Oates and similar artists now. Search for Hall & Oates on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
iHeartRadio is the easy-to-use app for music and radio. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
iHeartRadio soundtrack flashback.
Idolized as Earth's greatest hero in Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Kevin Bacon danced his way into our movie screens in 1984's Footloose. The soundtrack gave us plenty to dance to, including the title track by Kenny Loggins.
Now I gotta cut loose, footloose. Kick off the Sunday shoes. Please, Louise.
For more great movie soundtrack hits, check out Popcorn Radio on the iHeartRadio app.
Excuse my charisma, vodka with a spritzer, swagger down pat, call my niche Patricia, young money militia.
It's D.N.D. on the game. Doug Russell, Nick Bruzewitz, and Dave Gasper. The NicoleLaw.com talk and text line always open to you. Dan in West Bend has water skied naked. One word, enema.
Oh, nice.
I suppose. I mean, the natural way.
Yeah. That's one way to get it done.
It's one way to get it done and not pay for it.
I did not read it as enema, and that's my bad. I read it as enigma.
And I'm like, that works as
No,
well.
there's no G. Well, to be fair, he did misspell enema.
And that's my question. So
It's an E, not an I.
He's an enigma. He's willing to do it in the nude. Yeah, we got another one. Michael in Appleton. Last Saturday, I was best man. Knew my pants were tight. Brought an extra pair of pants to change into after pictures.
Yeah, that's smart. I mean, luckily, like I was not in the wedding party, so I wasn't as worried about it. But yeah,
I mean, that's tough to do at Grand March when you don't have trousers.
That is very tough to do. Yeah, because I mean, who knows what's going on the party bus, on the trolley or whatever it is you're taking going around between the ceremony and the reception. So yeah, that's some smart thinking by Michael in Appleton. Much smarter than what I had. I guess.
And imagine, you're not single, which is a win. But what different response you would have had if you were single, right? I mean, it
could have gone either way.
It could have, yeah. I mean, you never know.
I'm always looking out for you guys. Listen, I'm the old married guy here. I'm always trying to look out for you guys. Listen, this thing could go either way. I don't think you look at it as a negative necessarily. It
was fun.
It just is what it is.
Yeah. Well, and then towards the end, I mean, what kind of sort of as the dance floor was like clearing out and everyone's kind of getting ready to go. Then the DJ finally plays Copperhead Road. Like the line dance song. It's like, oh, you wait until the dance floor is empty to play. I was like, whatever. I requested this like 2 hours ago. But anyways, so
not that you're bitter or anything.
Yeah, totally not. It's like right as I'm about to be out the door, I'm like, okay, guys, excuse me, I gotta go do this. So like go do the dance. It's like there's 2 other people out there like with me, and then like afterwards, after we're all done, like I'm doing the dance. These guys kind of didn't really know what they were doing. It's like, dude, he's like comes over and it's like, you got the ripped pants and everything. And you're still going and doing the dance. I'm like, yeah. It's probably time to go home.
It's probably, and hopefully you weren't driving.
I was not driving, thankfully. Right. No, my dad was driving. He was fine.
Right.
So I was
That's
like,
good.
okay, so let's see. We got
an
open bar here.
So for the next family wedding,
yes,
extra pants.
Yes, probably because I believe the next family wedding is going to be my sister's.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I've got a niece that's getting married probably next summer. I haven't heard a date or anything like that, but probably next summer. So that's probably my next wedding.
There you go. All right. Make sure to bring an extra pair of pants.
Always
let this be a cautionary tale.
Listen, I'm at the age I am not ripping my pants on the dance floor.
Yeah.
That's not happening. I might rip them doing something else, but it ain't going to be on the damn dance floor.
It's not going to be because Low by Flo Rida comes on and
I'll enjoy the song. It's
yeah. But you're not going to drop it low as possible.
I will
lower than possible, perhaps.
Let the next generation. I will let them handle that.
Okay.
I.e.
me. But yeah.
Right.
With a new pair of pants.
It would be something if you wound up at my niece's wedding. That would be
something.
Because
I don't know her.
Probably not.
No.
I haven't seen Brielle's guest list yet, but
okay.
I have, but if your name is on it, who's to say? I don't know.
Who's to say? I don't know. Could be random.
It's like when Tim and Hunter ended up at a wedding together this past year.
That is kind of nuts. I didn't even know that story. I need to hear that story coming
up. Maybe on the other side.
All right, let's do that. Hour 3 is in the books. Hour 4 coming up straight ahead. Stay with us on the game.
Stay tuned.
Yes.
D.N.D. will be back in just a moment.
Now, a year in rock spotlight. 1973.
I will say goodbye.
The Rolling Stones are back on top with the #1 album in the US and the UK and a #1 single, Angie.
Come on, baby.
Let's Get It On is a #1 single and a #2 album for Marvin Gaye. Also in August of '73, Stevie Wonder is back with the #4 album, Inner Visions. And Florida band Leonard Skinner released their debut album, had a top 20 hit with Freebird and tour opening for The Who. Fast forward to October, where on their 8th album, the Steve Miller Band debut a smooth blues rock sound and score #1 hit with The Joker.
I'm a joker, I'm a smoker, I'm a midnight toker. I sure don't want to hurt no one.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1973. Coming up.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top Blondie songs that you've thumbed up.
Number 3.
One Way or Another.
One way or another, I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna get you one day, maybe next week. I'm gonna meet you. I'll meet you.
Number 2.
Heart of Glass.
In between, what I find is pleasing and I feel fine. Love is so confusing, there's no peace of mind. If I fear I'm losing you, it's just no good. You're cheesing like liver.
Number 1.
Call Me.
Emotions come, I don't know why. Cover up love's alibi. Call me, call me, anytime. Call me,
Hear more from Blondie and similar artists now.
Search for Blondie on iHeartRadio.
All your favorite music,
All your favorite stations.
all free.
Now, a year in rock spotlight. 1973.
Led Zeppelin released their fifth album, Houses of the Holy. It goes to number 1 in the US and the UK and yields the top 20 hit Dire Maker.
but I still love you so, and I can't let you go. I love you. Baby, I love you.
The Doobie Brothers released their top 10 album, The Captain and Me, with the singles Long Train Running and China Grove. And in June, Joe Walsh and Barnstorm have a top 10 album buoyed by the single Rocky Mountain Way. Also in June of 73, George Harrison scores the number 1 single, Give Me Love, from the number 1 album, Living in the Material World. And Chicago's 6th album goes to number 1 with 2 top 10 hits, Just You and Me and Feeling Stronger Every Day. In July, 600,000 Jam Watkins Glen for Summer Jam, the largest rock festival ever held in the U.S. It features the band, the Grateful Dead, and the Allman Brothers. And in August, those same Allman Brothers released their first album after the death of Duane Allman and had their only hit single with Ramblin' Man, which goes to number 2.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1973. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight. 1967.
Van Morrison, formerly of the band Them, has a number 10 hit as a solo artist with Brown Eyed Girl. In July, LA band The Grassroots scored their first top 10 hit with Let's Live for Today. And UK supergroup Cream, featuring guitarist Eric Clapton, toured the US for the first time.
In the sunshine of your
And in September, Janis Joplin's band Big Brother and the Holding Company signed with Columbia Records and released their debut album. October of 67, Memphis band The Box Tops, including 17-year-old gravel voice singer Alex Chilton, have a number 1 hit with The Letter.
Here's a ticket for an aeroplane. Ain't got time to take a fast train. Lonely days are gone. I'm a going home. My baby used to put me together. My baby used to put me together.
And in November, the first issue of Rolling Stone magazine is published in San Francisco, featuring an interview with John Lennon. The Who have their first and only U.S. top 10 hit with I Can See for Miles. In December, they smashed their instruments on the Smothers Brothers TV show.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1967. Coming up.
WRNW Milwaukee, available everywhere with the iHeartRadio app. Now number 1 for podcasting. 97.3 The Game, an iHeartRadio station.
I'm through standing in line to clubs I'll never get in. It's like the bottom of the ninth and I'm never gonna win this. Life hasn't turned out quite the way I want it to be.
Tell me what you want.
I want a brand new house on an episode of Cribs and a bathroom.
Final hour D&D on this
baseball
Monday,
and a king-size
October
tub
27,
making
2025. Packers win last night over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Jordan Love over Aaron Rodgers. Final score 35-25. The Badgers played tough on Saturday night, but they fall at number 6 Oregon Man, that's a tough place to play, Autzen Stadium. Joining us on the program right now, he was with the team. He is your QB1 for the Wisconsin Badgers. Billy Edwards Jr. joining us, and he's brought to you by West Town Monona Tire, your most dependable and experienced local tire and auto repair shop since 2001. Billy, appreciate the time. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. How hard is Autzen Stadium to play in? I know that you were on the sidelines. I know you were on the field, but man, I got to think that this has just got to be one of the most elite college football atmospheres to be in.
Yeah, it definitely was a tough one. They had, obviously a pretty much packed out stadium, and obviously I don't know if you could tell from the TV, broadcast of it how the weather kind of was playing a factor in the game, but I don't think you could tell how bad it was raining and maybe what the weather was, based off how many people stayed in the stadium, and they didn't have too many people leave. I don't think, if any, even all the way until the fourth quarter when it was pretty much, the game was pretty much over. So it was a pretty cool environment. Obviously, I played in it last year. And I think, this one was definitely a tough environment to play in, as, most of the games on the Big Ten on the road are, but it was a cool environment to be in.
Billy, when you consider the quarterback position in best practice in weather like that, how hard is it to kind of keep your head when you're dealing with so many things that are kind of outside the game due to the weather conditions?
Yeah, I think it definitely adds another element to it. I don't want, it's not too tough. I think we practiced a little bit last week with the wet ball and whatnot. And obviously I think, even when you get into pregame warmups and the wind was, the way it was, and then you add, the rain and the wet ball work into it, I think it definitely, adds a different element into the game of maybe not, at certain times in the game, not being able to feel like we could push the ball down the field with, with how bad the wind and the rain was. But I think, we did a good job last week for the most part of making sure we practiced at least the rain part of it. And then, it just gives, speaking for myself, when, I've been in situations like that, it just gives you confidence of like, okay, this isn't, maybe that's something that's, sprung on me on the Saturday when I didn't think it was going to rain, and all of a sudden now it's raining. Being able to practice throughout the week and develop that confidence in it of, the center quarterback exchange, the ball handling, maybe even throwing the ball a little bit with it, then it gives you, a little bit more confidence going into it on Saturday, knowing that, it's not a element of surprise per se. It's something that, we kind of anticipated and have prepared for.
Yeah, Billy, and those conditions, they make it tough for the other offense as well. And Oregon, typically a high-flying offense. Your defense held them to 21 points in this game. What can you say about the performance that those guys put up on the other side of the ball?
Yeah, they played great, obviously. They kept us in the game pretty much the whole time. And, you had some young guys coming there, and Cooper Catalano and Mason Posa, and you just saw guys, all across the board on the defensive side of the ball just make plays. And I think they did a really good job, and obviously were a big part in why we were in the game pretty much all fourth quarter. So it was really good to see, and I think, offensively just continues to add, some motivation factor of like, hey, our defense, can pretty much hang with anybody, and they're keeping us in pretty much every game and giving us a chance. So we got to, do kind of our part of it and back them up, and, whether it's they give us a short field or, they stopped them, I think, the one time probably right around midfield, maybe a little bit on their side of the field. And, Oregon did a good job on special teams and punted us and pinned us at the 1 or 2. And I think we got to maybe the 40 or around midfield, but we may not have gotten points up, but that was, a good example of complementary football of getting the ball out and getting out of coming out so that we could punt them, and play the field position battle a little bit. And then, so, we got to do more things like that to kind of help them out, especially when they're playing at such a high level like they are.
Billy Edwards Jr. joining us here on the program, brought to you by West Town Monona Tire, your honest, dependable, and experienced local tire and auto repair shop since 2001. Billy, the team is on the bye week. How does Coach Fickle, Coach Guyton, Coach Grimes, how do you guys as a staff and as a team handle not having a game on Saturday? Does the work week look any different?
Maybe a little bit different, but I don't want to say too much. I think it definitely gives us another opportunity to kind of self-scout and self-reflect on what, has been good for us, what hasn't been, what do we want to continue to build on. So I know from the, the coaches aspect and obviously, individual players, you can go in and, it gives another opportunity to really go back and watch the last 4 games and be like, okay, what is a thing been we've seen a lot more on defensively? Why? What are some plays that we're running at a really high level right now that we need to continue to build off of? What are some things, maybe to go back to the drawing board and be like, hey, we got to figure out a way to do this a little bit better So I don't think the work, looks a whole lot different. Obviously, maybe there's less, exchange or scout periods of, getting ready, obviously, for a game or another opponent on Saturday. But I think it gives us an opportunity to kind of tailor the work to be a little bit different to make sure we're still getting a lot of things out of the bye week.
Billy, apologies if this feels like maybe it's a little bit deep of a question, but the fan base has been challenging if the players are all in on competing this year. And that's bred from honest conversations over the last 2 years where it felt players had quit on the team and some openly did. How do you convey that that's not the case this year to Badgers fans?
Yeah, well, I think, if you look at, there's no excuses. We didn't win a game. We're not in a business where we went and, across the country and played a tough game, but we went, across the country or halfway across the country, whatever it was, played the number 6 team on the road, and it was a 4-quarter battle. And that's not sitting here saying anyone in the locker room is happy about the result, but we all know damn well we were in that game for 4 quarters, and there's still a lot of fight within the locker room, within the team, within the coaching staff, knowing that we've had a tough schedule. We got tough last 4 games, and every single one of the games on our schedule are still winnable. We've got to go in there and put the work in and know that there's still stuff for us to play for and fight for. So obviously, it wasn't the result we wanted, but I don't think by any means, we've guys within the locker room or even, the coaching staff have kind of quit or laid over for the rest of the season. It hasn't gone the way we wanted it. But I think we're still continuing to show up and try and put our best foot forward. And, whether that means get better at things or continue to do things well, I think we're all, across the board have the same mindset of like, it is what it is. And we got another game on Saturday. So we got to figure out how to, put a great game plan together and as a locker room, figure out how to go out there and execute it to the best of our ability.
Billy, when the schedule came out, everyone circled this month of October. I mean, this last 4-game stretch as the toughest that you guys were going to face and one of the toughest in the entire country. Just as these 4 games have gone on, where are the areas you feel like, the challenges have made you guys better as a football team from Michigan onward, where you guys were as a team? How have these last 4 games helped you guys develop a little bit?
Yeah, I think just, speaking on the offense side of the ball, obviously the physicality piece, knowing that, when you play in a game like, Oregon and we have the weather we did, or really any Big Ten game, maybe not the whole season, but obviously after September, right, with maybe some of the weather you're going to face or some of the opponents of, it's going to kind of start and end with inside the box. And that obviously has a lot to do with the offensive line, from a quarterback's perspective, getting us in and out, of checks and getting us into the right play, the tight ends. Everyone has a role of kind of, how our philosophy and on the offense side of the ball, it starts with how we can run the ball and how we can control the line of scrimmage. So I think, one, that seeing how we've built and how we've grown the last 4 weeks on that, I think has been encouraging. And then also, too, I think from a player's perspective of, maybe if it's a young guy or maybe, they're new to the Big Ten, like kind of really understanding what it's going to take in these games of, like we talked about a couple weeks ago, the first drive or, 2 of the drives in the Michigan game. Obviously, this game being able to run the ball, like, have success running the ball like we did at times. It's going to take that consistently. So I think obviously we all get that. We've yet to put, perfect, consistent game or kind of what we call consistent game together on the offense side of the ball, but really, understanding the importance of how it starts and what that means for the rest of the offense in terms of, building the passing game off that and the ability to run the ball and how it makes kind of everyone's lives easier. I think we've definitely grown in, areas like that in the last 4 weeks.
Billy, I want to kind of change gears a little bit with you because here in the state of Wisconsin, there was a quarterback battle last night on Sunday Night Football that meant a whole lot to a whole lot of people. Aaron Rodgers going up against Jordan Love. Is there a quarterback? I wouldn't say that you model your game after because I think you've got to be your own player, but is there a quarterback or 2 or 3 or 10 that you admire just kind of the way that they've gone about their business and you've kind of looked at them as perhaps kind of a quarterback role model in your world?
Yeah, I think when you look at Josh Allen, I think that's one that, if I had to, obviously I could sit here and name maybe 3 or 4 where I think, hey, I really like the way this guy goes about, this aspect of his game. And I think it's, pretty, I'd like to think I try to, chase that. I think Josh Allen, for the most part of, when you look at his career and, under-recruited and, a lot, very kind of overlooked going into the NFL and even in college and coming out of high school. But kind of how he's progressively gotten better throughout his career. And then when you look at, obviously the game style and the gameplay of him, and he's got, he can make every throw, on the field. He's extends plays with his feet. He's kind of at some points aggressive and kind of his extending plays and whatnot. And I think that's been someone ever since he's got to the NFL that I really like watching. And I, obviously try to, when given the opportunity, emulate my game around and try and chase some of the things he's done. Because even, like I think it was after maybe definitely his first or second, when he was still kind of a young player, like he goes in and fixes his throwing motion and makes a lot of changes in there. And so kind of his mindset and his approach of, continuously getting better and constantly trying to work on things. And I think every year throughout his NFL career, he's gotten a little bit better. And then obviously when you turn on the tape and you watch some of the plays he makes, it's obviously very fun to watch as another quarterback. So I'd say that's the one that, I like to watch the most. And, like I said, I could name probably 5 or 10 that I like watching, for a different reason or for a specific reason. But I'd say Josh Allen, ever since he got in the league, has been one that I've always been a huge fan of and love watching and learning from his film.
Badgers quarterback Billy Edwards Jr. joining us here on D.N.D. on the game. Billy, when you look at the performance from this past weekend, it's hard to not look at the young guns, and you said some of them on the defensive side, obviously Cooper Catalano and Mason Posa, but offensively, this is Gideon Natuka's first full crack at an opportunity to be a lead back in a game, and I thought he stepped up well. And how about Eugene Hilton? 42-yard catch that I think was a touchdown. I'd imagine you guys might feel similar. To make that play at that age, in that moment, I thought it was huge.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you asked pretty much everyone in that facility. I don't think it was, a surprise to anyone. I think he's even from the spring, he's come a long, long way. And I think we're really just scratching the surface with, kind of what he brings, his skill set, what he brings to the table. And for both those guys, again, I don't think anybody in that facility would tell you they're surprised by kind of, what they showed and what they put on tape, because they do it every day in practice. So definitely obviously right with, how the season's gone with some injuries and some young guys like them getting an opportunity, we got to continue to, build on them and build up their confidence, because obviously they showed some, some highlights for us throughout the day. And those are things that we got to continue to build on and get them confident to where, as the season goes on and, with some of these injuries or whatever the case may be, they may be a bigger part of our game plan, and we got to find ways to, get them the ball and allow them to do what, we saw glimpses of on Saturday of, making plays and having a tough, I think he had like a 25 yard run there. Obviously Eugene getting that long ball caught at the end and definitely got in the, in the end zone, but it will give him another opportunity to get his first one here, hopefully, next week. Just build on those guys, because they may be young and inexperienced, but I think they show up every day in practice and have the right mindset, and just have, even in my time here, have continuously gotten better.
Billy, but before we let you go, I gotta ask, how's the knee? How's the rehab coming along?
Same always, just continuing to attack it. And, like I said, I think I said last week, I don't know if it's been as linear as a recovery or rehab as I may thought, but that's, it is what it is. Just continuing to attack it and, figure out, however quickly enough and, obviously in the right way, just get to 100% where I feel, like I can do everything and I feel sturdy and I'm able to go out there and play, what I felt like I was playing all fall camp. And, even at some parts in, the Miami of Ohio game, it's going good. Just it's another week. So obviously had a little bit of kind of an off day on it on Saturday and Sunday. So got to get back in and, keep attacking it and continue to progress.
Billy, we appreciate the time as always. Good luck with the continued rehab. Good luck with the bye week. And we'll talk to you next week.
Yes, sir. Sounds good. Appreciate you guys.
All right. Thanks. There goes Billy Edwards Jr. joining us. Brought to you by Westtown Monona Tire, your honest, dependable, and experienced local tire and auto repair shop since 2001. So, tell you what, let's take a quick time out. Want to hear Bruiser's Bites coming up on the other side. Nick has been brewing some stuff up for us on the other side.
That's right.
Can't wait to hear some of that.
Mm-hmm.
If you have any split your pants stories, that's still on the table as well.
Yeah.
The NicolayLaw.com talk and text line is always open to you at 877-794-1973. It's D&D, Doug, Nick, and Dave. Doug Russell, Nick Bruzewitz, Dave Gasper on the game.
Want to watch D.N.D? They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
I like him even more.
Just search 97.3 The Game.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Elton John to reflect on a day in the life of writing and producing the Goodbye Yellow Brick Road album in France.
We all stayed at the Shadow in bedrooms, along with my producer, Gus Dudgeon, and Bernie, who wrote the lyrics. And I used to get up, and same time as Bernie, I went down to breakfast. Bernie would be typing, not Bernie Taupin. And he would give me a lyric. And I would have my breakfast, and I would have a croissant, and wander over to the electric piano. We had our instruments set up around the breakfast table, a guitar amp, a bass amp, and a drum kit, and the electric piano, and a mic. And I would sit down and write a song to those lyrics. Hence, then, could I wake the band up, because I'd be playing and singing, and they'd come down and having their breakfast, or even before they started, they would join in, and we would write the song straight away. After we'd finished, we'd go straight over to the other side. Maybe we write two, but mostly one. Start the day off with a song, and go off to the other side of the courtyard to the studio and record the song, and then write in the studio.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Elton John and all your favorite artists.
iHeartRadio.
Here are the top Aretha Franklin songs that you've thumbed up.
Number 3.
You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman.
Number 2.
Freeway of Love.
Number 1.
Respect. Hear more from Aretha Franklin and similar artists now.
Search for Aretha Franklin on iHeartRadio.
All your favorite music,
All your favorite stations.
all free.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top Foreigner songs that you've thumbed up.
Number 3.
Hot Blooded.
I show you love it like you never knew. That's why I'm hot-blooded. Check it and see. Feel the fever burning inside of me. Come on, baby, do you do more than dance?
Number 2. I Want to Know What Love Is.
Change this lonely life. I want to know what love is. I want you to show me.
Number 1. Cold as Ice.
You're as cold as ice. You're willing to sacrifice our love.
Hear more from Foreigner and similar artists now. Search for Foreigner on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Elton John to talk about performing live.
Going on stage was when I could show off and be comfortable, and I was always a bit timid off stage, and the stage gave me an outlet. And you'll find that with many performers, whether they be dancers, actors, singers, musicians, they have the outlet on stage to become the person they're not off stage. And I think that's what eventually led to my troubles, along with the drugs and the drink, is that the person who was fast becoming popular as Elton John and becoming, the number one rock star in the world, had kind of escaped from the person off stage, and the balance was completely off kilter. And the more I became successful, the harder I worked, and the less time I concentrated on being normal, or trying to be kind of normal. But people who knew me privately were shocked, I think, at what I was doing off stage. Rather, they knew what I was going to do on stage, but off stage they were shocked and disappointed.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Elton John and all your favorite artists.
A shark took her arm, but not her teenage desire to be a surfing champ. So next time life puts a little fear in you, just think of Bethany Hamilton hanging 10 on top of a heavy wave. That's real courage. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
D.N.D, Doug, Nick, and Dave here on the Game Radio Network. Victory Chicken Monday here on this October 27th, 2025, as the Packers come away with a 35-25 win over the Pittsburgh Steelers last night. But usually we do this in segment number 1. But, I mean, Billy Edwards Jr. posted up, so let's do this in segment number 2. It's time now, once again, for the award-winning Bruisers Bites.
Time now for Bruisers Bites.
Time for Bruisers Bites, brought to you by Wisconsin Concrete Coatings, wiconcretecoatings.com. You can see all their great work on their website there. Once again, wiconcretecoatings.com. They'll do your garage floors, your garage cabinetry, your basement flooring, your outdoor patio, or
your
deck.
outdoor daddy-o.
Outdoor patio daddy-o. All right.
Daddy-o. I think that's probably
all right. I'm
still
saving that as a soundbite right there. Just Nick saying daddy-o.
Daddy-o. Well, the Bears' former daddy-o, and probably still daddy-o, Aaron Rodgers, was
there. That's
what
nice.
we
That's
talked
well
about
done. That's well done.
all week long last week. Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers squared off last night at Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh, and the better quarterback, as he has been for over Jordan Love balled out 29-37, 360 yards and 3 touchdowns. This is head coach Matt LaFleur on his quarterback.
He was patient throughout the process, throughout the journey. He took advantage of the opportunity. He really did. And I thought it's been cool. I've said this many times, just to watch how he's matured as a young guy coming in here at 21 years old. And he's a grown-ass man now. And you see how he carries himself. He just is so confident. He's a great teammate. He encourages the other guys. He's a hell of a leader. And he's really grown as a football player. And
how important was it for Jordan Love to get that win yesterday? Because it's, in my opinion, mostly just superficial.
I agree.
It doesn't really matter. But in the grand scheme of things, I'm sure it feels good maybe to get that off his back.
Yeah, I tend to
the
agree
guy
with
that
you.
I replaced.
I don't think that it was critical to his development as a quarterback. I think it's a nice thing to have. It's a nice, if we were in Columbus, Ohio, I'd say it's a nice Buckeye leaf on your helmet, I suppose. It's a nice,
Sure.
whatever you want to call it. It's another step in his hopeful ascension to becoming an elite NFL quarterback. I think he's on the cusp of it. I don't think he's an elite quarterback yet, but he's on his way, I guess, and that was a step. They played really well. He was outstanding. And I still think, as I said at the outset of the show, I think the Packers left a few points out there. And as the schedule gets a little bit harder, they got Philadelphia coming in, Monday night game, 2 weeks from tonight. Then we're going to see elite against potentially elite. Jalen Hurts, he's got a Super Bowl ring.
Mm-hmm.
Saquon Barkley's got a Super Bowl ring. Packers, they're still waiting to get to a Super Bowl. So, yeah, I mean, getting back to your question, is it a step? Yes. Was it a critical step? I don't think so.
Yeah, I think we've already proven Brian Gutekunst right on the decision that he made to draft Jordan Love and to put the succession plan in place for post-Aaron Rodgers life. So I don't think it was necessarily as important for Goody, either for that, because that was kind of a big part of this talk and lead up to it as well. But it certainly does feel good. It feels good for the Packers when you face, your old quarterback, when you face the ex-girlfriend, and it's like, and we still get the better of you. We still get the win. It feels good. But in terms of, the season, like it secures their spot still with the number 1 seed in the NFC. So it's certainly a big game.
Last night's performance was essentially a tale of two halves for the Packers. They went into the breakdown 16-7, a missed field goal right before halftime by Brandon McManus. But in the second half, they outscored the Steelers 28-9. This is quarterback Jordan Love on the difference between the halves for Green Bay.
When we came in the locker room at halftime, the message was that we just weren't finishing. We weren't executing our plays, and we weren't locked in on doing everybody's 111. So, there's plays to be made, and I think we just weren't executing those, and we weren't able to stay on the field. So, I think the first half went by really fast for us as an offense. We had one scoring drive. And so I think the message was just do your job, lock in, and execute plays and stay on the field. And we did that.
What was the biggest aspect to the turnaround in the second half for you guys?
That's a good question because I think just everybody started to, this is going to sound stupid, but I think just everybody started to play better. I think there was a lack of execution in the first half, and that goes across the board. I think offensively, not as much defensively, but certainly with special teams. McManus was part of that, missing a couple of field goals, a couple of makeable field goals, including a 57-yarder, which was a long one. But, that's the guy that you're, air quotes, replacing just knocked home a 61-yarder the week prior. Jordan Love, I think, was a little bit better. The offensive line certainly was, I think, better in the second half. Emmanuel Wilson, I thought, was really good. Christian Watson getting open was good. Tucker Kraft was amazing the entire game. I mean, it's not, to me, it's not just one thing. It's the whole aspect.
Right.
And when I say it sounds stupid, when they just started playing better. I think they just started playing better.
Yeah, they played better. They played efficiently. Tucker Kraft having himself a big game on National Tight Ends Day. It was incredible all around. Everyone is really kind of being able to execute, and that's really the big part of it because as Matt LaFleur will talk about, all the time, it's about executing those plays. And if you don't execute, it all looks bad. When you do execute, everyone looks like a genius.
Well, adding to the second half discussion is linebacker, defensive lineman. I think he's officially a defensive lineman now. Micah Parsons. This is what he had to say about the performance after the break for the Packers.
Myself starting off, giving out containment, just not doing the fundamental things, and just coming out in the second half, understanding that we were beating ourselves, stopping the run, making them earn it. Even the penalties on third down, they were just getting prayers. We were just making massive mistakes. And just the second half, we just said we weren't going to keep giving that away.
Even though he finishes with just one sack in the game, Micah was obviously a problem for the Steelers. If you see every time he rushed, how quickly Aaron was to get the ball out of his hands. Would you quantify this as their best second half this season? I feel like we've had a lot of great first halves, and then some slides late in games where the other team maybe gets back into it when they shouldn't have.
Yeah, and especially in the fourth quarter, I thought that they really put their foot on the gas. I know that the Steelers scored a late touchdown to make the score a little bit more respectable than maybe it was. By the way, I think you can just classify Micah Parsons as an edge, right?
Yeah,
that's right.
That's how I normally go about it.
That's what I would normally say.
Yeah.
But as far as Micah Parsons, I think he's using different words, saying exactly what I said a minute ago. Yeah, we just started playing better at the end of the day. Micah Parsons is a game record. He was a game record with the Cowboys. He's a game record with the Packers. He affects everything that any offense that he goes up against does. You can't single cover him like the Cardinals tried to do, and he wound up getting 3 sacks. There could have been, I know that Rashawn Gary got 2 sacks and Micah got 1. Micah was right there for Rashawn's first one. So I was wondering for a while whether or not they were going to give each a half a sack. They didn't, which is fine. Rashawn Gary got there first. He's done, not only has he wrecked other teams' games, one of the things that we all said is that he's going to let everybody else eat because you've got to pay attention to what Micah is doing at all times. And that's what we're seeing from Rashawn Gary. They're both on a trajectory to get double-digit sacks this year. And Rashawn Gary, over the course of his career, has never gotten double-digit sacks. And Micah Parsons has never not gotten double-digit sacks. So right now, Micah's at 6.5. Rashawn is at 7.5. I know they would love to have Lucas Van Ness back in there because he was starting to really feel it in his third year as a first-round draft choice a couple of years ago, but unfortunately got injured making a sack, ironically enough. But the pass rush has been unbelievable this year. It's been something that's been revolutionary. It's been the one big issue that the Packers have had defensively for the last, decade. They've always tried to solve it, and turns out sometimes you solve it by going out and getting the best guy in the NFL that is at it, and that's Micah Parsons.
Yeah, that generally does help. And then when you see Jerry Jones say, well, we're not just one trade away from fixing our defense, it's like, well,
Well, you're one game away, or you're one trade away from wrecking it.
Yeah, exactly. So, but hey, I mean, that's his problem. Thankfully,
Jarrett.
not ours. But yeah, I mean, Mike Parsons has added so much to this defense, and they did play phenomenal in the second half. I would say it is their best second half of the season. I mean, their first two games against Detroit and Washington, they were really good in all those games, but we haven't really seen them play a strong full game since then. And this was a really great step to see them putting those woes behind them in the second half.
Well, Tucker Kraft has been fantastic all season long, and last night he had a career high 7 catches for a career high 143 yards and a career high 2 touchdowns. 131 of those yards were after contact. This is what Kraft had to say about his ability to break hits and get out in the open field.
I catch the ball, and I just try to get to top speed while holding the ball security. There's never really a plan. It's ugly. It's not like a practiced part. It's something I do in practice every day as soon as I catch the ball, simulating the yak as much as I can, finishing 15, 20 yards at the end of each play in practice.
We often talk about the necessity of having a go-to option on an offense. More often than not, that's a wide receiver. But we've seen very successful teams in recent history with that guy being a tight end. Travis Kelce with the Chiefs, George Kittle with the 49ers.
Yep.
There was a long time where it was Antonio Gates with the Chargers, Tony Gonzalez in Atlanta and in KC. Is it possible that Tucker Kraft could emerge to be that guy here in Green Bay?
Sure. I think there's a lot of good tight ends. Tight end play in the NFL has never been better. You got Brock Bowers, Trey McBride, who the Packers saw not yesterday, but the week
gave
prior.
up 2 touchdowns last week, right?
Yeah. George Kittle's still great. Sam Laporta in Detroit. He's elite. A lot of these tight ends that come out of Iowa, it's become tight end university. TJ Hawkinson. Mark Andrews still, I think, has some game left in him as well. So, yeah, I mean, it's not that far off that Tucker Kraft is going to be thought of in the same realm as some of these other guys who have really, elevated the position. And Travis Kelce's a huge part of that as well. I think this is probably his last season. He's got some other things going on in his world. But again,
we'll see.
Did something happen?
He's in his 13th season, surefire first ballot Hall of Famer. He's got all the pelts on the wall that you could possibly ask for. But yeah, I mean, where did it start? I guess. I mean, you brought up a couple of guys like Tony Gonzalez and Antonio Gates. I just think that overall they were kind of top heavy when they were going through their careers.
Yeah.
But right now, just top to bottom, the NFL tight end position has become more important in NFL offenses. And we're seeing a lot of guys really just elevate the position. And Tucker Kraft just keeps, climbing up that ladder.
Yeah, and he was phenomenal, especially on National Tight Ends Day, just doing his part. So, yeah, I think Tucker Kraft is a phenomenal piece of this offense because when we were talking about the wide receiver core, it's always, well, who's the number one? We don't have a number one. We got a bunch of number ones. Your number one might be your tight end. And, that could solve that who's your number one type of question at wide receiver because you don't know who it is, but maybe your number one's just at tight end.
Maybe not necessarily a wide receiver one by league standards, but his impact is close to one. Christian Watson returned to action last night, making highlight plays, both as a pass catcher and as a blocker. 4 catches, 85 yards. And this is what he had to say about his ability to get back out there.
The expectation for me was just to go out there and play football again. That's all I was looking forward to, regardless of, how many plays I was going to make or whatever. It was really just, I was excited to go out there and play football again. I just happened to have my number called a few times. And honestly, I think the plays that I made, there was still some room for even more in those plays. So, it's going to try to keep building on that.
It felt like Jordan Love, whenever he wanted, could do whatever he wanted. We mentioned the 20 consecutive completions. First time a Packer has done that since Favre in 2007, matching the franchise record. How much of that do you think could be the product of having Christian Watson out there and the offense looking closer to what they expected to look like when fully healthy?
He's a game changer when he's healthy, when he's able to play. I think that Christian Watson and Matthew Golden, they have an opportunity to be a really solid 1-2 tandem. They have different body types, but Matthew Golden's hands are a little bit better than Christian Watson's. There's been 2 knocks on Christian, and that's his hands and the ability to stay on the field. Matthew Golden has the hands. He doesn't have the size, though. that Christian Watson has in the ability to high point balls. Romeo Doubs, I think, I don't know that he's an elite wide receiver, but god dang it, he always seems like he's open in the clutch, doesn't he? So yeah, I mean, does it matter? Absolutely. The Packers have been waiting to get Christian Watson back on the field for a long time, and he really, I think, elevates what Jordan Love is able to do. Smart route runner. You guys pointed out how good of a pass blocker he is. That's important as well. I don't think that there's no correlation there. Christian Watson can be an elite player. He just has to stay on the field long enough to become one.
Yeah, as Tim in Janesville pointed out earlier on the NicolaLaw.com talk and text line, the Packers average 5 more points a game when Christian Watson's out there versus when he's not. So he clearly has an impact on the offense. I mean, what he's able to do with what the defense has to focus on him, opening up opportunities for other guys. We talk about it with Micah Parsons all the time. All the attention that they have to pay to Micah Parsons, it opens up opportunities for other guys on that defensive line. Christian Watson, with the attention that defenses have to pay to him and how he can take the top off them, it opens up opportunities underneath for other guys. And that is huge. And we saw how successful they were last night with that.
The Bears fell to 4-3 yesterday, losing to the
That's
Ravens 30-16. And one of our favorite national voices to use, certainly on this program and all our programs, Colin Cowherd and his buddy John Middlecoff, a podcaster, had some comments on Caleb Williams as an NFL quarterback.
Caleb, in my opinion, is never going to be an consistently accurate thrower of the football in this league. Am I too harsh?
No. Well, and if he's not going to work with Ben Johnson. He has not played well. Their team has. The running back has played well, and the defense has played well. The quarterback has not. How many times a day with Caleb, guys in the flat, even on completions, they have to stop and catch a ball? There's no rhythm to his game. I think Caleb isn't remotely a good player. Physically, he's got a lot of gifts. But in terms of playing the quarterback position, I think he's borderline not even average. That's a problem.
Harsh criticism coming out of those two. Williams, 25 of 38 yesterday, 285, no touchdowns and interception, QBR of 62.5. The Bears have seen wildly inconsistent play from this guy. Do you think that he might be destined to fail? And it doesn't necessarily have to be his fault. It might just be the franchise. But do you think that this thing is heading in the wrong direction and potentially a direction that Packers fans will rejoice about moving forward?
I think that criticizing any second-year quarterback who is on his second play caller is probably premature. Now, listen, he may turn out to be a quarterback that's not very good. That's entirely possible. There have been great college quarterbacks, guys that have won Heisman trophies, that have gotten to the NFL, and for whatever reason, whether it's a talent reason, whether it is the game doesn't translate reason, maybe he's not with the same type of coach that got the best out of him while he was in college. There's a variety of factors, but you look at college football stars that were busts in the NFL. Matt Leinart was a bust. Jamarcus Russell, Tim Tebow was a bust in the NFL. I mean, the list goes. Brady Quinn. I mean, there's more that were busts in the NFL that were stars in college football than vice versa. But that having been said, Colin Cowherd is paid by the hot take. He's paid by incendiary things that come out of his mouth. That's how he gets clicks. That's how he gets attention. That's ultimately, at the end of the day, because he gets all of these, all of these clicks and attention. That's how he, buys his third Mercedes. It is what it is. If you pay any attention to some of the sports takes, pure sports takes, not, I mean, I think he has some interesting things to say about, life and some other things that don't necessarily just go into sports per se, that are observational and probably a little bit more valid than his pure sports takes, which I think are pretty much garbage, because the way that he gets where he is at professionally is by making incendiary comments that have very little basis rooted in fact. He just sometimes just shoots from the hip, and because it's incendiary, it's going to get attention, and people, can we see what Colin Cowherd said? if you pay attention to what Colin Cowherd says about sports, you're probably not very smart about sports.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to like, those kinds of like takes, like it is absolutely, I'm with you, Doug. It's premature to like fully declare someone like, oh, he's going to be bad. Like, is he currently not good? Yeah, sure. I mean, you can put it that way. Will he ever get there? Maybe. Like, yeah, it's a hot takes. It's a declaration that some guy is it or he is not it. When it's like, in reality, it's like we know, and I think he knows too, where it's like you have to give it more time to actually fully definitively know if someone's going to end up being good or not.
Second coach in 2 years.
Yeah.
Second play caller in 2 years. Chill out.
Third.
Yeah.
Or third. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's a good point. Just take a deep breath.
I'm not trying to be a Colin Cowherd defender here, but what Colin said was that he doesn't believe he'll ever be an overly accurate quarterback. And then his buddy went ahead and said that he's not going to be any good and that he doesn't have what it takes. So and maybe Caleb's not an accurate quarterback, but he makes splashy plays and he can get it done that way.
Adam Shine famously said about Jordan Love, and I quote, "He can't play."
Yeah.
Right.
Just like Stephen A. Smith on Kwame Brown.
Yeah, I saw
the
a lot
man's
of
a bona
people
fide scrub.
using the receipts on Shine earlier today because he had said, I can't wait for Aaron Rodgers to just, destroy the Packers.
That's how these guys, you have to understand, that's how these guys get their attention, and ultimately that's how they get paid. I mean, that's their game. And I don't know that Colin Cowherd believes everything that comes out of his mouth. He probably shouldn't. Adam Shine probably shouldn't, but they're loudmouths who get a lot of attention and get paid for it. So, good for them. They've gained the system. I mean, they've got smarter agents than I do.
We might have to give it a try, guys.
Yeah, maybe we should have tried that more.
Maybe we should have tried that more. Maybe we'd still be, on in Milwaukee. I don't know. Or on everywhere like Colin Cowherd is.
I have two non-Packers notes on the way out, just historical, statistical feats. Giannis Antetokounmpo became the first player in NBA history to open a season with 100-plus points, 40-plus rebounds, 15-plus assists through his first 3 games. So credit to Giannis for that. They lost last night against the Hawks. And I think more notably, certainly here in Madison, Jonathan Taylor is now the 5th player since 2000 with at least 3 scrimmage touchdowns in 4 games in a season, joining LT with Danian Tomlinson in 2006, Marshall Faulk in 2000, and Sean Alexander in 2005, as well as Priest Holmes in 2002 and 2003. Additionally, Taylor is just the 6th player in NFL history with at least 70 scrimmage touchdowns in his first 75 career games. JT balling out, fully healthy in the best offense in a very long time in the NFL. The Colts, based on the numbers to this point, are challenging some of the greatest offenses of all time.
Love to see it.
And Andrew Catalon had his stat ready to go for the 3 touchdowns, rushing touchdowns against the same opponent 3 games in a row. Then he sees it was a pop pass. Did you guys see that? Andrew Catalon, the play-by-play guy, finding out it was a pop pass, being all disappointed, and then getting redemption, just finding out, hey, he's still the first player in NFL history to have 3 touchdowns in general against the same opponent 3 games in a row.
And he's got another 9 games
to
try and set the record for most 3+ touchdown games in a season. I mean, goodness gracious.
Love it. Love to see it.
He's individually finding the end zone more than the entire Wisconsin Badgers team.
Indeed. Is that it for Bruiser's Bites today?
That'll bring Bruiser's Bites to a close. Brought to you by Wisconsin Concrete Coatings, wiconcretecoatings.com.
All right. One more segment to go before we turn things over to Drew and KB. Stay with us on the game.
Want to watch D.N.D? They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
There you go.
There we go.
Just search 97.3 The Game.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top Eagles songs that you thumbed up. Number 3, Life in the Fast Lane.
He was too tired to make it. She was too tired to fight about it. Life in the fast lane. Surely make you lose your mind. Life in the fast lane. Life in the fast lane. Everything, all the time.
Number 2. Take It Easy.
Take it easy. Take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own wheels make you crazy. Come on, baby. Don't say nay.
Number 1. Hotel California.
There were voices down the corridor. I thought I heard them say, welcome to the Hotel California. Such a lovely place, such a lovely place, such a lovely place.
Hear more from the Eagles and similar artists now. Search for the Eagles on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top John Mellencamp songs that you've thumbed up.
Number 3.
Hurt So Good.
Hurt so good. Come on, baby, make it hurt so good. Sometimes love don't feel like it should. Baby, hurt so good.
Number 2.
Small Town.
No, I cannot forget from where it is that I come from. I cannot forget the people who love me. Yeah, I can be myself here in this small town. And people let me be just what I want to be.
Number 1.
Jack and Diane.
Oh yeah, life goes on long after the thrill of living is gone. To walk on.
Hear more from John Mellencamp and similar artists now.
Search for John Mellencamp on iHeartRadio.
All your favorite music,
All your favorite stations,
all free.
I'm Chris Rose with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. We start in Philly, where Saquon Barkley ran for $150, found the end zone twice, helped the Eagles soar to a 38-21 win over the Giants. The G-Men also lost Cam Scatterbo in the contest after the star rookie dislocated his ankle midway through the second quarter. Meanwhile, in Denver, Broncos improved to 6-2 after Bo Nix tossed 4 scores, 44-24 the final over the Dallas Cowboys. James Cook torched the Panthers for 216 yards on the ground and a couple of scores. Bills demolished the Panthers 40-9 in Carolina. Myles Garrett racked up a franchise record 5 sacks on Sunday. It wasn't close to being enough as the red-hot Patriots took home a 32-13 win over the Browns. And in Sunday Night Football, Jordan Love outdueled his former teammate Aaron Rodgers, throwing for 360 yards and 3 scores. Pack muscled their way to a 10-point win in the Steel City. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
All right, boys, what did we learn today as we wrap up the Monday Victory Chicken Monday?
Always bring spare pants
on D.N.D. Always bring spare pants.
Yeah, that's right.
Know your limits on the dance floor.
Yeah. know how low you can drop it and how low is too low. That's a tough lesson to learn.
The track record doesn't matter. If you're a jack wagon, you can get fired. And that's what happened to Brian Kelly.
It's true.
I do circle back to the moment of when he was at Central Michigan and both Robert Saleh and Matt LaFleur were on his graduate staff, I believe. And they were invited to a holiday party just to be told that they're parking the cars in the snow.
I have heard that story. That is a great story.
This is Domofsky's piece on ESPN from 2019. LaFleur said, quote, "We decided that when we're in that position, we're never going to treat people the way we got treated."
Brian Kelly's always been a horse's ass.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, I mean, I don't feel bad that
his job.
Yeah, he got paid $53 million to walk away from it, too.
Him and his family.
My family and my fake accent down here in Louisiana. I'll try not to send a kid up into the tower to his death this place.
I saw someone say, they posted a video of Michael Cera doing like a thick, mobster accent, saying that's going to be his next accent when he ends up at Rutgers. Come to me here
on the day
my
daughter's wedding, and I have to play a football game. No, that's more. That's kind of Yiddish.
We're not experts on mob talk, but just ask Chauncey Billups.
Yeah, just ask Chauncey.
Yeah. So Brian Kelly, good luck. Maybe he'll go back to Central Michigan. Who knows? Maybe he'll treat his graduate assistants a little bit better this time around, because you never know.
Maybe, probably not, but
they may wind up NFL head coaches. Who's to say?
Yeah, or dead. But
maybe he ends up in the NFL.
That's only the kids that work on his staff.
Oh, yeah.
The Titans have a head coaching vacancy. They've been known for good hires.
Brian Kelly in the NFL. I don't know how that would work.
Oh, I guarantee you he would last less than 2 years, just like everyone else in Tennessee.
It was. I mean, it is. Yeah, it's just a bad situation there.
That's ownership.
At that point, yeah. I mean, you can make a couple of bad hires here and there, and just sometimes
every year you're alternating firing your GM or your head coach.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great. Eric in Prairie writes hot takes. We're talking about the hot take artists in sports talk radio. And he's right. Hot takes don't always mean you'll be successful. I guess it depends on what your level of success is, because there are a lot of people who do listen to Colin Cowherd. There are a lot of people who do listen to Stephen A. Smith. There are a lot of people who do listen to Skip Bayless. I happen to not be one of them, because I know what their takes are, and their takes are pulling it right out of their ass, trying to make a name for themselves because they don't understand exactly what's going on, but they say that they do. Listen, some of the things that Colin Cowherd says on his radio show, I can relate with. But when he tries to tell people about their teams sitting in his tower in Los Angeles, or wherever he does the show, I think it's Los Angeles. When he's trying to tell me about the Packers or the Brewers or the Bucks or Giannis or Aaron Rodgers, he's full of crap. He just doesn't. No. He doesn't know, because he's not here. He doesn't experience it. He just is repeating what somebody's telling him and then taking it to the nth degree. And he's not the only one. He's just one of the artists that do it the worst.
Yeah. Whenever he talks baseball, that's exactly how I feel. It's like, you don't really know what you're talking about right now.
Yeah.
He knew baseball in the 1970s, but other than that, no.
Yeah.
He recounts Seattle's lineup from back then.
Right. Alvin Davis up next. No, I'm kidding. That's a long time ago. We'll do it in 20 hours. We'll see you tomorrow, boys, right here on D.N.D. on the Game.
This could be perfect.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1973.
Led Zeppelin released their fifth album, Houses of the Holy. It goes to #1.